All right, hello and welcome to the Benzo Rehab Dungeon, episode 47. It is June 11th, 2021. I am your host, Michael Deebs. Joining me, as always, Danko Suvin from the Instagram account, @DankTheLuz. Also joining me, as now always, John the producer from the Instagram handle, Discopathic. Gentlemen, how are you doing today? John first.
Oh shit! No, I'm doing great. Yeah,
Glad to hear that. I'm sorry I caught you off guard. Even though this is what we do almost every time, and you know, if you put any amount of preparation into this, you would have something like witty lined up, like "I'm a-okay, chief." I don't know. Danko, how are you?
Oh, who, me?
yeah. The other person I ask immediately after John.
Oh,
every episode.
Yeah. Man, I'm living the life.
La Vida
I'm
Loca.
lost again. I'm living La Vida Loca in Margaritaville, sir.
Oh man.
I did it. I did the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's all the lyrics of that song, right?
When
he says something about a shaker of salt, and then he does the whole La Vida Loca thing.
You should look up the lyrics to Cheeseburger in Paradise sometime.
Oh hell yeah!
since we're on the subject of what the fuck is his name? Jimmy Buffett. There we go.
We can do a mashup of Cheeseburger in Paradise and Rock and Roll McDonald's. I think that would rule.
Yeah, for.
Have you ever karaoke'd Wesley Willis?
I have not, but that would be.
I got to do it at some point. That's something that the listener probably doesn't know, is that I don't know if John does. I guess we're about to find out. But my sense of karaoke. We karaoke.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
John is very well aware of that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Me and Deebs used to.
Is John also a karaoker? Okay.
From time to time, he would dabble. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
We once sang
Santeria
together.
Go-to songs, gentlemen.
Oh yeah, we did.
Oh God. Okay.
So my go-tos are "Lean on Me."
Okay.
By Bill Withers. "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion, and John can attest to this.
I've heard you do one of these.
And then "I'm Just a Girl" by No Doubt.
Okay.
Another one I used to do a lot of.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I would go into karaoke and just get shithoused and sing a lot of dumb songs.
I mean, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you get people
serious.
that go up there and they start singing like serious songs, and they're like trying not to cry because they just went through a divorce or something. We've all seen that.
I like to do an Unchained Melody. That's my serious one by the Righteous Brothers. I sang it to you once, but you were apparently like half conscious talking to someone. I think you were dating someone that was there.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like me at all.
I even dedicated it to you because it was your birthday.
Yep.
And
I do recall this.
Disappeared.
Yeah. Well, I won't tell you what I disappeared for, but it was worth it. So.
The really good one, though, the one that my favorite thing to karaoke, and it has been since before I was karaokeing, was a Hemorrhage by Fuel.
Oh yeah.
In my blee blah blee blah in my
That's great.
Oh man, all the lyrics are the same. It's so good. It's just blee blah blee blah blah.
Hey, so speaking of birthdays,
we're not gonna ask John.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your go-tos, John? I think I
God
only
damn it.
recall Santeria with you that one time, but I'm sure you
Yeah,
sang others.
yeah, no, I sang Santeria with you. I sang I Want to Break Free by Queen.
Oh, yeah.
Usually, a lot of times, I helped the my fellow Marines that couldn't sing very well and help drag them through Disney songs because
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
fun.
That it was
I'll
all
make
the
a
guys.
man out of you.
A
Yeah,
whole new world was one that came up a lot.
yeah, yeah. And it was like
I always
Someone had to be
it's like a-
Jasmine, you know.
yeah, yeah, no, and it's actually easier when you have a deeper voice to sing a lady's part. So
Yeah.
there you go.
yeah.
I always fuck up the lyrics to that whole new world song because for some reason I sing stupid songs all the time when I'm like bored or thinking. Like if you've ever played cards with me or something, it's just nonstop me singing like one line out of a song over and over again, and it's a nightmare. But a whole new world, I always fuck up as a brave new world.
Yeah, I've heard you
And
sing this, and
totally
I
on
was actually
accident.
I was going to steal your thunder and mention that because I've heard you sing this. And then when we did that road trip together, and
Oh no.
we went into like a fugue state of
Yeah.
endless road and exhaustion, and we were like rewriting the words to like Nine Inch Nails songs like "Make new friends, jump, play."
Yes. I last thing for all the singing stuff because I know you have very important news,
Okay.
and also we have important news on
Yeah.
top of the news. But is that I had a buddy, and he was this gargantuan, like Neanderthal-looking white guy, just huge brow and everything, and he memorized the entirety of Tupac's "When We Ride." And at weird inopportune moments he would just, if you like brought a new girl around or something, he would like corner her and just look her straight in the eyes and just sing the whole song. It was the
Rap the whole
funniest
song,
shit in
yeah.
the world.
That's great.
So that like yeah, I have this really vivid memory the first time he did it to me, where we were sitting in the car, I was in the back seat, and this man, as my buddy is driving, he turns around from the passenger seat and stares me in the eyes and does the whole fucking thing, like as we're swerving through traffic. And I thought I was dreaming. It was just so like intense and perfect without the song playing. Like a different song was playing on the radio, and it's just him doing that, and it was wonderful. But he used to also do the reason that the whole new world got stuck in my head. This is all for my like early 20s, so this makes a little bit more sense. But we used to always do weird parodies of that song, but for some reason the one that sticks with me that is just like unbearably funny for no reason, because it's not funny, is just a brave new world, a new fantastic place to read. And it was just something about that was so funny to me, because it's like this was not a phase of my life where like any of us were reading or talking about books or anything. We were just like getting drunk all the time. So that, I don't know, something about that was very funny. Anyway, what's up?
You mentioned birthdays.
Oh yeah, he also had a great birthday song. I miss him.
So John's birthday was what, Thursday, right? Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So happy birthday to John, and then my birthday is on Sunday. I'm
happy
turning
birthday, Mike.
I'm turning 33 years old, and I don't actually feel bad about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't like felt existential or anything like that, so that's good.
Yeah, I think 31 feels pretty bad. 30 can feel good if you're like prepared for it mentally. Like my 30th birthday was great, but then 32 was kind of weird. But 33 I could see being pretty okay, because you're already there, you've been 30 for a while. But 31 was yeah. Anyway,
dark moment in your life.
How you feeling, John? How old are you?
Oh yeah, no, I'm 32.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Squad. Fuck those 33-year-old old guys.
Yeah.
Old heads, right?
Squad. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So far, I guess it's only been a year of my 30s, and I'd have to say not great. But I guess I don't
Yeah.
believe that's to the fact that it was the first year of my 30s.
This could all be your fault. Actually.
It could actually be my fault.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. It could be all of our fault because entering into our 30s and the universe is like, fuck these guys, let's ruin them.
I caused COVID-19.
Yep.
So Cheeseburger in Paradise lyrics. I already decided that the title of this episode is going to be dumb shit we've seen.
Cheeseburger in Paradise. Oh, okay. I don't know. Mine's really funny.
So I don't know. We could always change it to Cheeseburger in Paradise.
It could just be Cheeseburger in Paradise : dumb shit I saw on the internet.
We don't have to talk about this anymore. So let's do a read of this. Tried to amend my carnivorous habit. Made it nearly 70 days. Losing weight without speed. Eating sunflower seeds. Drinking lots of carrot juice and soaking up rays. But at night I'd have these wonderful dreams. Some kind of sensuous treat. Not zucchini fettuccine or bulgur wheat. But a big warm bun and a huge hunk of meat. Cheeseburger in paradise. Heaven on earth with an onion slice. Not too particular, not too precise. I'm just a cheeseburger in paradise.
There's something to be said about, because what is Jimmy Buffett if not just the soul of a middle-aged white man, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And what does it say that one of their favorite songs is? It references speed, and it's talking about dreaming about hunks of meat. Like, something about this all comes together into this beautiful, like, bathhouse imagery for me.
I was gonna say, are you psychoanalyzing Cheeseburger in Paradise right now?
I am. I can't turn it off. I have to do this to everything.
All right, well,
but I forgot that song mentioned speed.
Oh yeah. No, it's
that kind of weird.
It is a little bit weird.
Without myth.
So cool. So yeah, dumb shit we've seen. I wanted this episode to be a little bit more fun. Because we're celebrating some birthdays. Life is shitty, and
real bad.
we put a lot of effort and stuff into like our normal episodes, I think, and let's give ourselves a little break. I'm over here. I'm chilling with. I gotta show this, and they're welcome to sponsor us anytime they want. But
hell yeah!
I got
the one sponsor will accept alcohol sponsors.
Yes, specifically Scotch sponsors. But yeah, my crew at work, bought me a bottle of 14-year Glenlivet. Enjoying it quite a lot. So cheers, gentlemen. I think am I the only one with alcohol this time?
I think you are. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
I just got off of work and I'm broke and I don't have any around.
Not a good look for me, I guess.
Well, I'm only without because I drank through all my wine. That's all I've been keeping around. Wine.
Yeah, the background that you have up right now is hiding like 50 box wines.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. You're like reusing them as like your bedding material.
Yeah.
Just
I'm not
a damp nest.
Look, none of us
You can blow the bags back up and like use the hair as cushion.
As heterosexual men, none of us have bed frames. It's just box wine.
That's true.
Cases of beer and box wine.
I sleep on a bed with a frame, but it's not because I have a frame. It's because my partner has a frame.
That's true.
Yeah, I do not have a bed frame, and I've never felt the compulsion to buy one.
It's just gonna be sleeping on the bed all the same, right?
Yeah.
I did have one for a while, but it's defunct. So I just don't replace things.
Yeah, you fuck too hard on it. Is that what you did?
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm a sexy virile. I almost said virulent. Also, maybe that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not something you might want to advertise to
Who gets
perspective.
checked, you know?
Who gets checked? Not me, certainly.
I actually, I did a take-home kit for one of those, like, I don't know, 6 months ago. And that was a weird experience. Mailing piss.
That.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I gotta say there is something weird though about like the professionalism of like, you know, jobs that you can't do drugs on, right?
Oh yeah.
And so like it's this professional notion that you should not have any kind of drugs in your system. And since we're professional people, what we now have to do is make you pee in a cup. We're gonna handle your piss. We're gonna send it to a laboratory where more people are gonna handle your piss. And this is all very normal and professional sort of stuff. And it's like the I don't know, like the ironic like ends of like all these modes of professionalism, I guess, you know.
It's also, you know, maybe this is like a a tired and obvious kind of point, but it's crazy to me that like every retail job or anything like that I've worked, always been drug tested for those.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that no marketing exec has, or like any kind of like white collar job has ever enforced a piss test.
No, absolutely not. Well, they wouldn't be able to hire anybody.
Right, because it runs on coke. But it's the people working retail, they can't pass unless they like cheat or like take a month off or something too, because they enjoy the ganja.
Well, it kind of seems like maybe
because that's what you need to live.
Drug policies are meant to
insane.
Well, they're not insane. They're meant to hold down a certain class of people.
And, for sure.
And retail workers happen to be that class of people.
But they don't test for alcohol, which is a very safe drug. And it's cool.
I've shown up hungover to like every first day of work I think I've ever had.
Yeah. Dude, when I worked at the Home Depot, the most common reason to fire people was that they were drunk.
I'm sorry. Am I supposed to be sober at Home Depot?
Right? No, I'm
forklifts.
It happened a lot for all of us.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's funny too that like you don't need to test somebody's fucking blood alcohol level to be able to fire them for being drunk at work. It's like you can just tell that somebody's too fucked up on a substance that it's a problem.
Oh, for sure, yeah. If somebody comes in like scratching their face off and like, I don't know, peeing in the buckets or something, you'd be like, oh, I think this guy's on too many drugs to work today.
Yeah. It's really professional of them.
But you know you're working at a great place though when like they have like in the HR office a breathalyzer. Like that's a good sign. Yeah.
You know, and I gotta say, like, for the job that I work currently, which is still a blue collar job, but it's like upper blue collar level, I guess.
A baller job.
They didn't fucking drug test me, and if they would have, I don't think I would have passed.
Well, I don't think that you don't really ingest anything that would pop.
Yeah.
Right?
Every now and then, I was doing marijuana at the time. But yeah, I mean psychedelics. You got to do like a spinal tap in order to test for that, so they don't test.
Which
for
they
it.
should start doing.
Yeah, just do a spinal tap on everybody.
Right. Yeah. I'm really tired of going into Home Goods, and the person I'm talking to is blown out of their mind on like LSD. Those people need to be spinal tapped every day before they come into work. I am sick of this.
Bro, have you seen these tiles?
We got these new things. They're like, imagine if you took a tree and you like took the branches like wove them together, and you can hold other little like pine cones and shit inside of them. It's a woven basket.
I think it's funny, like just about every time I've done like psychedelics, I've always like rediscovered ontology in my brain.
Oh yeah. It's not a good trip unless you've done that. Like you have to have a metaphysical like.
I gotta examine what a table is again.
Yeah. my big like tell, not a tell, but like my marker for when I was really enjoying acid was if I lost all understanding of language and had to rebuild it from scratch.
Oh,
hell yeah.
That's where I wanted to aim for each time. That was perfect.
And you take that like mind melting amount.
Heroic.
Yeah.
I mean, are you really doing hallucinogens if you're not, ingesting?
Yeah, everything else is a microdose.
Can possibly afford.
Right. Well, now that we've incriminated ourselves for 30 minutes.
Great.
Happy birthday!
I've got a selection of Dave Rubin clips that I've pulled up.
I thought we were just gonna watch like car chases and explosions and stuff, but no, we're starting with the really terrifying stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because all of us are bullies, and it's just really.
That's true.
I imagine it's just like, I imagine everybody bullies Dave Rubin.
Well,
yeah.
How can you
his
not?
therapist bullies him.
Yeah. Just like pushes him, So aggression shoulder checks him.
I don't have a Rubin impression. I don't have any impressions.
You just got to make your voice sound like this.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And end everything on a questioning note.
Right. I just feel like all my friends have been really bullying me, and I don't understand why they do this to me. Well, Dave, it's because you're a dork ass bitch. And then she like gives him a swirly.
Oh, I like how you assume that the therapist is a woman because yeah, that's probably true actually.
No.
It's a valid
And
stereotype.
Probably bullies him less because I imagine that Dave Rubin would also have to read what he tells his therapist off a script.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that Dave Rubin can say things that aren't on scripts.
Right. He like puts a teleprompter in front of her and like to.
It is funny when you can tell he's gone off script because
his brain shuts down.
Yeah, his brain shuts down and he can't really string a like full sentence together. And what's funny is his apparently his husband does a lot of the writing for him.
Yeah.
And,
right.
And so like they're obviously a gay couple that's married, and one husband is regurgitating all the stuff that like a self-hating gay husband is writing or something.
It's got to be some kind of like a fun BDSM thing at that point in time, right? Where
you think Dave Rubin has like a shame kink? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think it would work for both of them. I think that there could be this really complex thing where like if you are having your partner write things about how awful people like you are, and then you have to read it, like both people are going through this whole like long endeavor of shame. So I think both of them, like they're both doming one another, but they're both like subbing themselves. It's very complicated. Yeah. It's very complicated.
Their verse. That's what we discovered.
Right.
Their verse.
Have we looked at the David Letterman interview that he did? Have we ever looked at that here?
I don't know if we did, but it's fucking hilarious.
Mind-blowing. It's so good.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's such a long clip, and I think it's better for people to just look it up on their own. But David Letterman, no, it wasn't. Was it David Letterman? Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't David.
No,
Letterman.
sorry, it was Larry King.
Larry King. Yeah,
I always confused them. Yes.
Yeah, so Larry King was on Dave Rubin's show,
And Larry King is his
Oh.
idol.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, Dave Rubin like loves Larry King. And Larry King's on his show and they're talking and you can tell like Larry King's just like not interested because Dave keeps on trying to do like, well, yeah, and the liberals, right?
Yeah.
Sort of stuff. And
he
Larry
takes
King
a call from like his son.
Yeah, Larry King takes a call from his son in the middle of the interview. And it's not a short call at all. It's like a 5-minute, 6-minute
you
call.
Can tell he's extending it because he's like asking his son, like, "Oh yeah, so how was the game?"
Yeah, and then like there's a point where there's a point where his son's about to hang up, and then like Larry King's like, "Hey, when am I gonna see you again though? Like, we got to make plans." And they literally make fucking plans to like visit each other while like and Dave Rubin is just sitting there like, do I say anything? Do I do anything? And then eventually
he does like, like grunts and stuff. He's like,
yeah, and then eventually like the best he squeaks out is like, yeah, the cameras are rolling, Larry.
But I realize this will be my last thing, and then we can continue until one of us interrupts us again. But if you mix Larry King and David Letterman, we have the perfect interviewer because it's just Larry David.
Hey, come on! Answer the question.
Do you respect Wood?
Do I respect what?
What?
Do you respect Wood? Just a question for the listener.
Oh,
it's a Larry David thing. You wouldn't get it.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar.
Jewish fan like me.
Watch the clip.
I could see the average person who is not a homophobe and doesn't care about gay people watching Drag Queen Story Hour, watching the propaganda that they put, to push kids into transitioning and the rest of it, and then starting to become slightly anti-gay. Not because they have anything against.
The fuck is wrong with David Rubin?
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about. This is perfectly normal stuff for a gay man to say.
For any man to say, really. But I mean, he's got the clout here. He knows. He knows what it's like.
He's taken the dick to say his piece.
Jesus.
I can't blame people for just being hateful fucking monsters. I mean,
if this is all they ingest, yeah.
Yeah, it's so cringy. Oh my gosh.
I love this weird, like, we have these people saying all this stuff about, you can't force a 5-year-old kid to transition, which, by the way, you can't. That's not a thing that you can legally do. But then also them saying all these 5-year-olds that are demanding that they transition. And it's like also not a thing. But having it both ways like that is also just really bizarre.
It's a master play.
Yeah.
It's kettle logic, yeah.
Or that like kids seeing a fucking drag queen, which ultimately is just a character that happens to be a man in women's clothing. I don't understand, like, it's entertainment. And there's like family friendly drag queens.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole weird like drag queen phobia, it's we have like children put into beauty contests. Yeah. Right. And that's apparently like a normal thing. But a drag queen is literally just one person dressing up as someone else. And so that's the like weird, like scary thing. It has nothing to do with them being sexualized or anything. It's that they're being sexualized in someone's mind by being a different gender. Like, it's nuts.
Well, I mean, what if you're watching a drag queen and you get a little bit of a boner?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that is why I'm scared of it.
Yeah, you might get so scared that you start to hate gay people.
I just got so scared I just started coming.
It's a fear response. It's a valid fear response. I start coming. I start getting on my knees and I start mimicking dick sucking motions.
This is why we can't have drag queen story hour.
I'm very scared right now.
That's why all my partners, they wait around corners to like pop out to frighten me because they want to see my O face.
I'm terrified and coming.
It might have to be my new catchphrase.
I'm terrified and coming.
It's no longer fuck you, which was kind of trite anyway, to be fair, like,
yeah, no, it's a bit
I
basic.
am
Yeah,
terrified.
I'm terrified and I'm coming is much more it's a much more signature sort of statement.
And it's far more true to me.
Yeah, it's your truth, baby. Let's continue this clip.
Gay people, but they think that the movement somehow represents more than the gay individuals, and that's a huge problem. So I don't know, I guess we just need more like decent gay people to stand up against it. Are we going backwards, though, was your question? And I would say in some way, yes. Once you've got equality, well, then the activists have to put down the mantle. You're allowed to say, guys, we got to win. We're good. Thank you, everybody. We're going to go find something else productive to do in life. I could see the average person.
So, like there are a lot of like white gays that are becoming conservative and kind of like Dave Rubin, and they're
no kink at Pride.
Yeah, and they're so like proud of their like being like, I don't know, like declaring like, I'm probably the most boring gay that you could probably fucking know. But it's like, I don't know, it's like such like a white colonizer fucking mentality. It's like, oh, yeah, well, we fucking let you fucking vote. Can't you put on a fucking sweater vest and fucking talk like me?
Right,
like,
right.
Jesus.
Well, it's just like, all the, and I'm sure you've heard this in my life or your life, and I've heard this in my life, John. But somebody saying like, "Oh, you're so well spoken."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh, thank you so much. I'm very well spoken as a brown person. You're right, because I grew up in America. My people were here before you. I've never known any other language. I'm like actually incapable of learning another language for any amount of time, I'm pretty sure. But yes, I am well spoken. Thank you so much. And it's the same thing.
It's such a terrifying, yeah.
Generally, if I'm not at a job interview, I just tell people that my dad actually taught me to talk this way because he was worried that white people would hold it against me.
Well, and it's a valid fear to some degree, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that movie? What's it called? God damn it! Sorry to Bother You.
I keep meaning to watch that, and I've heard it's really good.
It's incredible. Everyone needs to watch it. Just stop watching this podcast and just find that movie. It's incredible. It's so good. But one of the
after you're done listening to and or watching this podcast, you should watch Sorry to Bother You.
You got to stick with it because it transitions into the most amazing movie later on. It changes completely, and I'm not going to spoil anything.
Who's the director? It's Boots Riley, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. And he's a very cool guy. I think I don't remember if he's an anarchist or not, but I know that at the very least he's anti-capitalist. So
right. I mean, you can tell in the movie for sure. But yeah, one of the big things that happens in the movie is them. It's two African American guys in this scene, and they work in a call center. And one of them, he just none of his calls are working, and he's just like, I can't get any clients or anything. I can't get any sales.
Oh yeah.
And the other guy, I think it's Danny Glover, and he says, well, it's because you're using your black voice. You need to use your white voice. But he expresses that it's not just about like speaking like a white person and using like a non-black or non-POC accent. It's that you need to speak as if you have like any hope in the world, and that is what like converts to white voice, like that you are making this call because it will in some way benefit you, and it's an amazing movie. It's so good.
Okay, well, yeah,
extremely funny too. But,
I will commit myself to looking into that movie.
I'm gonna watch it tonight
in the near future.
I'm just gonna do it. I love you all.
Maybe
Please take your medicine.
maybe we could do like
Okay,
a watch
fine.
party after we finish this recording or something.
Okay, yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Settled.
no more scheduling amongst friends.
Next
We need to watch Dave Rubin.
next Dave Rubin clip.
Oh, thank God.
Find more reasons.
One down.
Dave Rubin.
Then he says, well, Republicans should be focused on the economy or climate change, not critical race theory. Now, why would Barack Obama want to diminish the danger that is critical race theory, which in essence is now the driving force behind the Democratic Party? It's because he's obviously for it and wants you to take your eye off the ball. And yes, we should all be against critical race theory, and it is not misguided on the part of Republicans or
So, just so everyone is aware, I mean, I think everyone here knows to some degree like what critical race theory is, and you can probably like kind of put it together in your head if you don't. But critical race theory, more importantly than like the way that it's generally thought of, where it's like some idiot in a humanities department ended up inventing it because they were tired of like gender theory or whatever the fuck. This comes, it originates in law departments. Like this is part of how legal standards are devised, and it has to do with like, I mean, it of course enters into humanities departments for good reason, but this is something that was like born out of trying to determine like metrics for like how to put together laws in order to make them more equitable. Like this is not to say that there's anything wrong with gender studies. I think that that's a useful and important field, but it's not something that was like just put together by someone working in like a philosophy or literature department. This is something that has like real statistics. I mean, we feel funny about statistics in some ways, but it has like real, at least soft science backing, and that's where it comes from. And it's
it's a form of jurisprudence, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not just some bullshit cockamamie stuff. At the very
least, and it's like, yeah. So it's just them like it. Well, not even saying that all the rest of the stuff is cockamamie, because like I'm not
saying that either.
Like,
this isn't just like whatever half baked, whatever, you know. They're regular arguments about like, oh, gender studies, that must mean that you're a crazy feminist or anything like it's not even in the same realm of that kind of thing that they try to criticize that way. It's a completely different legal sort of doctrine.
Right, because like I said, it connects directly into like legalism and, you know, poli-sci to some degree and everything, and so it's really curious watching them throw such a fit about it, because they're like, and of course they've been digging at like a lot of like ecological science and biology and stuff for a long time too, but how they're kind of like working their way through the softer sciences into harder and harder science, and trying to like criticize them as they go.
Yeah,
where it's, I don't know, it's now we're going to fight the people with numbers.
So Dave Rubin is going to make a very interesting claim later on in this clip, and I'm sure you guys will pick up on it, but let's go ahead.
Conservatives to not want their children taught in school that America is fundamentally racist, that systemic racism is real, that things like being on time and hard work and getting math questions correct are tools of white supremacy. You would want children to be taught that their skin.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Exactly. So citations needed, obviously, but let's go on. There's some more.
Doesn't matter, as opposed to is the thing that matters most. So in some ways, it is the most important thing, because it's the thing that's here to destroy everything else. White America voted for you twice, Barry. Yeah, and nobody cared what your first name sounded like or what your last name sounded like, or nobody cared that your dad was from Kenya or any of those things. I voted for you twice.
What?
I think with you being
Go ahead and pause it. We don't need to listen to it anymore. Nobody had a problem with your name or
Zero
that
people.
Your dad was from Kenya or whatever.
Yeah. That didn't become a big thing that like literally got us Trump.
It wasn't 8 years of people like, and again, no fan of Barack Obama,
right?
But they literally like they had effigies like being lynched in the fucking streets at like conservative rallies and shit of Barack
Yeah,
right.
Obama because he was a
Like,
black, like the notion
what?
that nobody even fucking complained about,
Yeah.
or
I mean,
nobody
one
even
one of the most
cared.
standard like boilerplate insults used for him was Barack Hussein Obama.
Exactly.
It's like nuts. Nuts.
He doesn't have a single American name.
And
Right.
you know,
And
I'm gonna be honest and maybe a little bit charitable. Charitable is probably
Uh-oh.
not the right word. uh, a little bit nice and charitable to Dave Rubin and say that I think he's probably just too dumb to remember that. And so it's not really being charitable as much as I just think that he's like, that's stupid. Maybe he's actually
Maybe.
earnestly forgotten this. Because when I look at grifters and I look at people like Tucker Carlson, I know that Tucker Carlson knows better than what he's doing, but he's doing it because he wants to make
Right.
money. When I look at Dave Rubin and I see that just blank expression on his face, that doesn't have like any indication of like I'm lying or like I know that I'm not being genuine here. I think he really is just this stupid, and that's not to make an excuse for Dave Rubin.
Right.
Because he doesn't have to be that stupid. As far as I know, there's nothing like preventing him from being any smarter. He's just that lazy intellectually.
Right. Right. It's and just for a reminder, because you know we are old people, as we've established, and much of the listener is a bit younger. But if we go back to when well
all the way back.
to when Barack Obama was first running. And one of the things that I frequently heard from like people who were definitely on the right, but either like didn't admit it or were hiding, one of the most common things that they would say for why they couldn't vote for Obama is that the moment that we end up putting a black man in the White House, he's just going to get assassinated.
Yeah. It's because well,
like,
that's
something I heard a lot.
There's always some kind of like concern trolling with the
right
the bad
exactly.
faith actors, and it's like, well, you know, we're not ready for a black president, so if we get a black president, it's gonna go badly, and it's not his fault. It's just, you know, we're not ready for it.
Right. Yeah. When he was primarying against Clinton, it was just this whole thing where it's, man, I sure couldn't vote for Obama. I would love to, but I can't vote for him because he'll just get assassinated. But you know what? I don't trust a woman because of that time of the month.
Right.
So just because of those
Because
things,
would you trust something that bleeds once a week, every month, 7 days,
crazy how
does
often
die?
that was literally used. Like
Yeah,
that claim was extremely frequent and kind of unsettling.
I mean, in the last election, well, not the last election with Biden, but the one before that, 2016, I was working for a very conservative boss, and he would frequently bring up that joke. And if the listener hasn't heard this joke before, it's basically just the, you know, why would you trust a woman? I don't trust anything that bleeds for 7 days a month and doesn't die. And it's like, what does that even fucking mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and
you like
and
women,
it's
right?
It's a very basic misunderstanding of biology, because I don't think Clinton was young enough to have periods. Like, first off, you don't know how pussies work,
Right.
and then second off, I think there might be a good point held in this somewhere, hidden away, because
Okay.
I also wouldn't necessarily trust something that bleeds for 7 days and doesn't die. But only in the sense that it applies to old people, because their platelet count is so low. So, you know, maybe that does have application somewhere, just not towards women.
Well,
unless they're old women, don't trust them. Don't trust them either.
I'm glad we had this talk. But yeah, no, that joke's always been like, the fuck are you even talking about?
I thought you guys talking about biologists.
Yeah, I mean, like just the basic misunderstanding of what's happening during a woman's period, and then also it's like,
it's nuts.
You like women, right? Like you're not gay. It would be bad in your mind.
I like
if you
to
were...
own women. I like to have a woman.
Yeah.
I don't want to I'm not gonna be
Fair,
friends with
fair.
him.
They're,
I'm
they're
not
thinking of
gay.
it from a different perspective, I guess. But
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah, it's like
pretty cool.
like these are the guys that'll like walk up to like a really like fit woman in the gym to try to like give her pointers and explain how to work out when the lady's a trainer, you know?
Yeah,
that was exactly the guy that I was working
yeah,
for.
it's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
And he I mean, not at the gym. He would like he was convinced that every single woman that like talked to him or looked his direction was like infatuated with him. And we're talking, he was like, maybe he was my height, so he's a manlet, 5'5". Not in any like particularly good shape, just kind of like normal, average. Not very good looking, balding extremely like bad. He had, you know, those people that have like the forehead that's like a little bit like pronounced, you know, that just kind of like sticks a little bit more
Yeah.
forward than it maybe like would aesthetically stick forward.
Well,
He had
like
that
my Neanderthal friend I was talking about.
Yeah,
their
he
dad
had that sort of
huffed
thing going
ant
on.
poison or something.
What's that?
I said like their dad huffed ant poison or something.
For sure. Yeah. let's make it a eugenics thing. But no, he like not attractive at all, and he was like convinced anytime a woman talked to him and smiled that meant she wants it.
I remember hearing once, and it was when I was really young, so it rang true to me at the moment, but that there's really only men that think that everyone wants to fuck them or that no one wants to fuck them. And when I was younger, I was like, yeah, that seems about right. And then I became an adult and realized, oh
and
no,
then you
that
had-
applies to boys. That's the thing that boys are like.
And then you had
yeah.
sex once, and you were like, "Oh wait."
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
I smelled a woman's hair once, and everything like
Ooh.
clicked.
Ooh.
It just made sense. Not in a Biden way, in a totally consensual, cool
Okay,
way.
yeah, I was like, you weren't like on the bus, like leaning forward in the seat ahead of you or anything, right?
Yeah, I'm just realizing how much worse what I said sounded than
Yeah,
what I meant.
yeah.
And I've done a lot of that today.
I did a lot of
Sniffing hair.
sniffing women's hair when I was younger,
We do a little thing called snipping.
and that's when I learned to really appreciate women for their beauty
That's me.
and their grace.
Oh god.
I hope that like
Cool.
came over like really heavy and hot and sweaty. I don't know. I like basically put the
It was.
microphone
I feel a
inside my
little
mouth.
damp. I feel moist.
Okay, good. Yeah. Next Dave
People that
Rubin
have a
clip.
problem with the word moist, by the way, grow up.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Some things are moist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
things are just moist. Use moisturizer
Shut up, John.
on your face.
Moist.
Moist.
I'm gonna moisturize my arms right now.
So, I mean, what is it about moist that freaks people out?
I think people just think of like
Moist.
sticky
Yeah,
dampness sort of stuff, and sure, I guess.
I don't even think it has to do. I mean, it has a little bit to do, I'm sure, with what it refers to. But I think it's just the sound of it, like the movement to the mouth and everything. I think that's what creeps them out.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like no one has a problem with the word damp. You know, but
I don't know.
moist.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think moist is a good word.
yeah.
I think it's a good word.
It's very descriptive.
But at the same time, I guess even though I think it's stupid to have a problem with the word moist, I'm never going to use that in like a context where I want to be like sexy or something. So maybe
Yeah.
but I'm not going to use the word damp either. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
when you
I,
use really
I-
clinical terms during like sexy times, that like ruins the moment, right? Like, hey, baby,
would you like to exchange fluids?
is your vulva moist at the moment?
I mean, usually when I use the word moist, my whole hand is in something. Just in a non-sexual.
Would you?
this
Would
this
you like
cow's
to hear
rectum
more
is
about
very
my damp
moist.
glands.
Madam, my penis is engorged at the moment.
That was a little hot.
No, engorged? Come on. No way.
Gorged. Yeah, it's like,
Is
ugh, you know,
this like a?
thick with
Is
like
this a-
4 C's.
Is this video going to be like a panel of like self-hating affluent white gays or something.
Oh yeah, let's move on to that.
I don't know. I don't know what
right
all these other guys are, but this this little diatribe he goes on is fucking hilarious.
I was just watching the Alien movies. I watched 4 of the Alien movies this
That's a
weekend.
moist
There's a moment in the original Alien movie where the science officer, who ends up being an android, but he basically is talking about the elegance and how much he admires the alien because it just takes over the host and it's merciless and it knows what it's doing and it doesn't have remorse or a conscience or anything else. And as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, oh, that sounds kind of similar to something going on right now. Do you sort of admire the way this thing has spread, not because you respect it, but because it's so effective in doing what it's trying to set out to accomplish?
Is he talking about critical race theory or COVID?
I don't think we need context for it because I think what he's actually talking about is like the fear of COVID. But I just think the statement, I watched 4 of the Alien movies this weekend, and then he tries to relate that like, and it just gets inside. And do you admire this thing because it infects people and takes them over? Do you admire that? Like, what a weird fucking question, right?
This I believe Dave Rubin wrote himself.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Well, I think see the thing is he's talking to a panel, right? So he can't have a script for this because they're talking back at him and the conversation is developing, right? So he's off the cue cards right now because he has to be. There are no cue cards for a group conversation. Right. I mean, there's probably cue cards for like general questions, but like once the conversation expands, as you know we're doing right now, but we're all like sentient people, and so we can respond appropriately to whatever new topic is coming up. Dave Rubin can't do that, and
this brought to you by Wayland Yutani.
I'm glad you brought that up. Let's go to the next clip.
Oh, nice.
This one I found very funny because as the Dave Rubin clips Twitter notes, Dave Rubin uses 3 pop culture references on one show, which is a record: Avengers, Aliens, and X-Men: The Last Stand.
Should we be like, we're negative of money here, but should we be passing some of our negative money on to this Twitter account because we get so much content from them?
I mean, every now and then we look into it, but I mean,
they should share in our debt, right?
I don't even know if they have like a Patreon or anything like that, but I'll look into it.
No, I'm saying they owe us money.
Oh, they owe us money. Yeah. We've been simping for them. I think their followership is probably larger than ours. I don't know though.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Do you understand who you're talking to? I am Dank Deluz on Instagram.com. I have like I have numbers. I lay them down. I forget how many.
We all knew
this
day would come. This is
I'm too big for my britches.
This is the Danko. You can find me in my trailer moment. we finally hit your diva stage.
I'm just like cracking eggs on the ground and like trying to reabsorb them into my ass. Anyway, Dave Rubin, wild guy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They see the world as it is, and they want to basically destroy it so they can create their own world. I mean, I say this all the time, but they're basically Thanos from the Marvel movies, pretty much. Well, I made the Alien reference before, but I actually mention this quite often that if you
wait, is he calling himself back?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I just love
what's with? Oh, go on.
Oh, okay.
No, go ahead.
So anytime, and I this is maybe going to be something divisive for a certain listener. I don't know. But if you're an adult person and you're still referring to the world in terms of like comic books that you've read,
you're a nerd. You're a punk.
Please fucking read something else. Just for a little bit. Just read anything. Fucking read some news. Read some theory, ideally, but please, by God, set down the fucking comic books. You're not 10 years old anymore. Nobody gives a fuck if the Democratic Party or liberals or progressives is like Thanos because, I don't know, they have some form of utilitarianism in their politics. Nobody has a fucking magic gauntlet that's gonna click everybody
Speaking
away.
of that, did you
Go ahead.
have you seen that Sam Cedar Tim Pool debate?
No, this is
Uh,
actually exactly like what I'm
it's
building off
very
of.
funny.
Where
Yeah.
Sam Cedar is debating Tim Pool, and Tim Pool says, "Well, you're a utilitarian, and I gotta break it to you, Sam." Something to this effect, but he's like, "I have to break it to you, Sam. Utilitarians are usually the villains in movies. You know, Thanos is a utilitarian. He's trying to end half of all life
And
because it's unsustainable." And Sam Cedar just
and
has this
Sam,
look
yeah,
of like dead. Why am I doing this? Why am I talking to this person?
right.
Like soul being sucked out of him expression. He's like, I don't care.
Right, exactly. That is one of the most important things for people to like take away. Where yeah, it's kind of effective to just like laugh at people, but it's honestly so much more effective if you just like deadpan. I don't care.
Accept a call. He should have accepted a call in that debate.
Right. Oh, sorry, it's Thanos online.
I'm being called by the director of My Politics, which is Thanos.
So if I ever become a rich old person, or no, a famous old person, I guess, where I'd be on being where somebody would interview me, I'm gonna get one of those life alert things, even though I don't need it, so that I can just be taken out of an interview, like EMS will just respond and I'll be like, oh my god, Dave, or whatever fucking idiot, I've got to go with the fucking ambulance.
It seems I have fallen and I can't get up.
I can't get out of this chair.
But John, you're literally sitting upright right now. You realize that, right?
And then you accuse him of having dementia.
Oh man, we're actually going to talk a little bit about that later, I think.
Hell yeah. I mean, I don't think that there's an episode that goes by where we don't accuse someone of having dementia.
True.
It is the world we live in.
I didn't even. There's another one that we should probably cover that I didn't even put into like the link list this week.
Oh God.
Let's go ahead and listen to a little bit more of this because the X-Men reference
God.
is pretty fucking great too.
Sweet.
Have you seen the original Alien movie? I think from 1978, the first Alien movie. If you remember, in that movie, it's the classic Alien movie. The doctor who ends up turning out to be an android. When they discover the alien, he's talking about how much he admires the alien because it's so evil and it has no remorse and it has no conscience, and he loves the fact that it just does what it does and it doesn't care what you think. So when you tell me that you sort of admire them, you're actually saying the same thing. I totally get it. I don't mean that. I'm not even judging you when you say it. Well, by the way, that's why you have to give the devil his due. You may remember the third X-Men movie. I'm blanking on what the subtitle was. X-Men Final Class, or no, not
Triple X.
The third X-Men movie. All right, my guy's gonna get it for me in a second. But in that movie, they come up with a cure that they can cure the X-Men. And at the end of the movie, Magneto brings all the bad guys. And they're attacking the lab, basically, where the cure is. We got it? The Last Stand, that's what it's called. Thank you.
Okay.
And what Magneto does, he knows that all the soldiers there that are defending the lab, the prison, that they've got the cure in the guns. So what does he do? He says, send in the pawns first. So he sends in the loser mutants to get shot, and then they're not mutants anymore because they've been cured. Then he goes in and attacks. And that's what the leaders, basically, of BLM and Antifa are doing. They're using people as fodder. They don't care about their lives. And by the way, a ton of them are hooked on.
You can. That's all we need.
Galaxy brain.
Did he
Incredible.
ironically just portray the villains of the movie as the victims?
That rules.
I don't even know that he is salient enough to like. understand who's good or bad in that movie,
Yeah.
or like, I mean, imagine watching an X-Men film and you end up on the side against the X-Men. Like,
Yeah, that and like it's like he was just
I just-
attacking somebody who wanted to cure people of being undesirables
right?
humanely.
I have this I have this beautiful image of fucking Magneto pulling a Dolazol and then becoming the leader of BLM in like in Ruben's like weird fever dreams.
and and
No,
still
no, Magneto, you're literally Jewish. We know this about you.
But on it,
But he's actually part of the lost tribe, right? Go ahead.
Right.
Sorry, I talked over
These-
you.
no, you're fine. I'm having weird connectivity issues, so I feel like I'm like cutting people off all the time. But those movies are like so on the nose.
Yeah, you're
Man,
spoon-fed
like-
everything.
Well, you're spoon fed everything, but like imagine just take a step back for a second. There's a movie about eugenics called The Last Stand, which maybe I'm doing like a Parallelomania thing, but that is like a degree away from having a movie about eugenics called The Final Solution.
No,
Like it is so close.
Yeah,
It is
that's
so close.
that's basic from my like foggy recollection of the movie, because I watched it once and like forgot about it. Unlike Dave Rubin, who I guess is like just discovering these movies, or is like
these are a weird series of movies to be watching like over your weekend. I mean,
exactly,
really
and
fun,
these
but-
are all recent clips, so like all these references that he's pulling out now from movies like 10, 15 years ago that weren't even like good. They were just like throwaway action film sort of shit.
minus of course Alien, which is a perfect movie, and I will fight anyone.
Sure, Alien is a good movie. Got it. But, you know, like the fact that he watched 4 Alien movies this last weekend, like,
When there are only 2.5 good ones.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'll stick to it. Alien 3 is actually a good movie, and I will fight people on that as well.
okay, well,
Um,
that's your hill to die on and not one
yeah,
I care
I'm
to.
gonna die on a lot of hills, and
to
they're all
assault
about
you
movies
on.
that I like kind of care about.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
was watching 1979's The Thing. I got nothing. That's also the wrong year, but
And I really admire the way
the way that it turns into dogs.
Sorry,
So
I
I got
didn't
myself
use
this
the right
furry costume.
Dave Rubin voice. And I really admired how the Thing, which is what it's called, they don't really come up with a name for it,
Because it's like a thing.
because it's like a thing that you can't really name or describe. It's always changing, just like BLM is always changing. Let's go to the next link.
Dave Rubin would be such an amazing protagonist in a body horror movie, by the way. Where like,
Well, you
like,
see
there's
what's
just like a hole growing in his body.
What's happened is I think I've grown some wings and maybe my skin has become chitinous. I'm not sure.
I like a, what is it called, that disorder where you think that like your blood is disappearing or like your penis is shrinking away?
This
There's a
is called
specific
being me because I'm
disorder.
getting fatter and fatter. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Well, there's this disorder that apparently, I mean, it's rare, but it happens, where one of these two specific things generally happens, but usually it's like around your genitals disappearing, but you think like parts of your body are being like eaten up by your body. And I just imagine Dave Rubin in that scenario where like every night he's like examining his penis, just being like, it's being consumed by my pelvis, and there's nothing I can do to stop it.
I keep talking to
Bringing it up in
doctors
one
and
of
they
these
tell me
meetings.
that I'm going crazy, but I don't know. I
Your
think
dick is fine. It's a little weird, but it's fine.
So I appreciate the reporting that's been done here by ProPublica. They got a bunch of tax information on billionaires, and it turns out that billionaires don't pay their taxes. And
More like bro publica.
yeah, more like ProPublica. I know that the title of this episode is a working title is dumb shit I've seen. If you needed to be told this, I think there's probably a problem like with your perception of the world. I am glad that ProPublica put this out there and everything. But like
It needs to be hammered on forever.
Forever, of course. I just think it's funny how many people are like blown away by this revelation that billionaires don't pay their taxes, and that like they don't actually pay most of the taxes in America. It's actually working class people who pay most of the taxes.
It's like it's a dissonance thing where everybody knows it, but then people that think it's a bad thing constantly bring it up. Not because they don't think that the people around them know, but because they think they're like making a point and they're commiserating with some people, and then otherwise they're just like, hey, Bob from accounting, I know your politics, and did you know that they're not paying taxes? That's fucked up. Whereas Bob from accounting is just like, smart people.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Everyone knows, and you're not. But
I mean
that said, it should be brought up constantly still. But
that's something that like when you had the hyperventilating liberals on CNN and MSNBC and whatnot, talking about Trump's tax returns. And it's like, you guys don't understand that this isn't a win. Like, if you can prove that Trump hasn't paid any taxes for the last, like, I don't know, 30 years, all you're going to get is a bunch of right-wingers going, hell yeah, taxes are theft. That's a fucking genius right there. He hasn't paid his fucking taxes at all. And I wish I was that fucking smart.
Yeah.
So that's just a quick aside. It's an important article. You should read it. It's appalling how little these people pay in taxes, with the massive amount of wealth that they take. I think billionaires now like rake in anywhere between like 80 to 90% of all like income belongs to them.
Cool.
So the fact that
by the way, I love. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
No, but I love the image of Wolf Blitzer hyperventilating. I think it's very, very funny.
I was thinking more of like
also,
Rachel Maddow, who like literally hyperventilates on TV.
Believable.
That's
more believable because she does that. But are we going to talk at all today about Bezos sending himself and his brother into space?
No, but we can bring that up.
Good.
Go ahead and look that up, John.
Because they're going to be doing that in like, I don't know, a month or something.
Yeah.
It's some ridiculously soon thing, and it's not going to be like I think it's going to be some like something like that. But how funny would it be if they just fucking died?
I think it would be hilarious. I saw a headline that was clipped on Twitter, and the headline was Jeff Bezos plans to shoot himself and his brother into space, blah blah blah. But the Twitter caption read, yeah, like, oh man, the first part of the headline was so good.
What would people do if that was actually the plan, where Bezos was just gonna like kill his brother and himself, and it was like planning it out?
I mean, I think that.
I mean, I guess he'd get arrested, maybe.
I mean, billionaires have used weird trips to murder people.
That is true.
To try to get away with killing people by doing it outside of any type of jurisdiction.
I hate Dick Cheney, but I kind of miss him only in the sense that how fucking wildly crazy and evil was he? He was so fucking funny. Just shooting like your friend during a hunting trip and then having him apologize.
I was gonna say, like, if you don't bring up
that is fucking wild.
If you don't bring up that he made his friend apologize for being shot.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh god damn.
That's some great shit.
That's, I mean, fuck you, buddy, but god damn, that is the biggest dick move.
His name is literally Dick Cheney.
I think it is. Yeah. Dick Chubley.
Dick Chubley. Dick Bigley. Let's go ahead and go to the next link. Oh, and for that ProPublica article, you can just look up billionaire taxes ProPublica, and it'll bring it right up. Interesting article. So Ilhan Omar said true things recently, and the Democratic Party decided to try to devour her over it, as they normally do, because she mentioned the word Israel, and she's a Muslim, so obviously bad. We could
You should have been more careful about it.
we could watch this clip, and let's try to make it. This is a little bit longer clip, so if we could try to make it as long as possible before we screen pause or something. And I might break that rule too, so sorry. Yeah. Pause this fucking ad.
Oh man, advertisements.
Yeah.
With us last hour, blasting inflammatory comments by Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, equating the U.S. and Israel to Hamas and the Taliban. And she's facing widespread criticism from both sides of the aisle. Fellow Democrats calling on Omar to clarify her remarks, sparking an even bigger feud. Let's bring in Katie Pavlich, editor of Town Hall and Fox News contributor. Omar tried to walk this back a little bit, says, I was in no way equating terrorist organizations with democratic countries and well-established judicial systems. But she continues to do this, Katie. This is not the first time that she says something that goes, well, actually, that's not what I was meaning. But if you look at what she said, how else could you take it?
Well, if you look at what she said during that committee hearing, Dana, and you look at the tweet, she uses the United States, Israel in the same sentence next to Hamas and the Taliban, and saying that they've committed
The same sentence.
atrocities and that they need to be held accountable. And we not only saw her trying to walk this back, but the entire squad came to her defense, claiming that criticisms of her aren't about policy or her positions on these issues, but about Islamophobia and trying to silence women of color in the House. You had AOC saying that she wishes Democrats in the party would come to them and speak about these things privately before they condemn her publicly. But she's making these statements publicly. And Cori Bush, who is the newest congresswoman and member of the squad from Missouri, has refused to take phone calls from a Jewish newspaper in her district. And so they want the benefit of saying these extreme things, which many can argue have led to violence in the streets against Jewish Americans. They want to say them publicly, but they don't want to face the backlash publicly. They want to have these conversations behind closed doors. And the bottom line here is, Nancy Pelosi, in this leadership statement, they're saying we condemn it, want her to clarify, but she is a sitting member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. She is the vice chair of a subcommittee of the Foreign Affairs Committee. And yet she is equating the United States and Israel to U.S. government sanctioned and designated terrorist organizations. And so it's not that she's just, a member of Congress without any kind of responsibility. She's on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and many people have been taken off committee assignments for saying far less than she has repeatedly over and over again.
All right, so pause real quick. Pause real quick.
Pause.
You're gonna be.
And you know who they're referencing when they're talking.
Go ahead.
You know who they're referencing when they're talking about someone that said something relatively minor and got in trouble for it. They're talking about fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, right.
That's absolutely who they're referencing. But yeah, what are you saying, Mike?
Oh, I was gonna say wait till you
Jewish space lasers.
Yeah, for actual anti-Semitism, and not even just anti-Semitism, but violent remarks towards their colleagues or something like that, or threatening to kill people, etc., etc. And wait until you see what Ilhan Omar actually said. I don't know if either of you have seen it.
Well, I have a guess.
And I mean,
I have a guess because she used the U.S., Israel, and the Taliban in the same sentence,
and Hamas,
like she said, and Hamas. Sorry, and it's just like me and my buddy went back in time to kill Hitler and Mussolini, and it's fucked up for me to say that because I used Mussolini, Hitler, my buddy, and I in the same sentence, which means I'm equating all of them.
You're not actually on the right track there, sort of. And
probably not.
John, what was your guess? You were starting to say something. I don't know.
Oh no, I lost track of what I thought.
Oh, okay. You
Danko's
let a
loud,
white man
loud
speak over you.
voice just grated away my thoughts.
Sorry, my connection makes me interrupt people. I don't
It's
mean
fine.
to.
It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead and continue.
But this is her tweet. It's shameful, she says, for colleagues who call me when they need my support to now put out a statement asking for clarification and not just call. The Islamophobic tropes in this statement are offensive. The constant harassment and silencing from the signers of this letter is unbearable.
Go ahead and pause real quick.
Support too. Call for number 6. Rashida Tlaib sent this out. Freedom of speech
Pause real quick.
doesn't exist for.
So that's just a response to like the response to her original tweet. We'll see her actual tweet that's like sparked all this controversy in a little bit. But go ahead.
Muslim women in Congress, she writes. The benefit of the doubt doesn't exist for Muslim women. House Democratic leadership should be ashamed of its relentless, exclusive tone policing of Congresswomen of color. She talked about the United States in comparison with the Taliban. You know what the Taliban did to women in Afghanistan? This is reprehensible. Ilhan Omar, she was born in Somalia, raised in a refugee camp in Kenya, came to the United States, I think, at the age of 9. How can she ever fly the flag maybe just once for us?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of gratitude rather than constant criticism of the country.
Maybe a little gratitude.
So, like, should we,
Oh.
should we train at what this slightly more intelligent Dave Rubin and Dave Rubin himself do? Is like when we lose track of our thoughts, should we just like throw shit out there?
I guess so.
Like, you know, like,
Yes.
be like, oh man, Danko was going to the store and, you know, he was very hungry and he got some food, and then, you know, the blacks are ruining the neighborhood. You know? Like, should I just like throw shit out there, like, if I lose track of what I was thinking?
Yeah, I mean, stream of consciousness reporting, you know, gonzo is what they
Well,
call
I
it.
was I was watching Avengers Endgame the other day, and I couldn't help but notice that that Thanos has kind of like a different color than a lot of people. His skin is
That
a
is
different
true.
color than a lot of people in America, and he happens to be the bad guy in those movies. And I think, you know, we really had to look into people who are different colors than us being bad guys. There's something to it. I'm not quite putting my finger on exactly where we need to just investigate
in a
that,
movie.
but it's in a movie. Yeah,
It's in a very popular movie.
Is it a movie?
Let's go ahead. We're about to see the evil thing that Ilhan Omar tweeted.
Saved her and allows her to go from being in a refugee camp in Kenya to being a United States Congresswoman, where she does have free speech as a woman, where she does have the ability to speak out. That doesn't mean that she is free of criticism, especially as a public figure. But you'll notice in those statements and the tweets from Congresswoman Omar and Rashida Tlaib, they don't condemn or clarify what she said in those tweets. They simply throw out the card of, well, if you disagree with her, you're obviously a bigot. And this is the playbook that we see over and over and over again. Ilhan Omar will make this a statement as a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee that the United States and Israel are somehow on equal footing with State Department designated terrorist organizations. And when you call her out for it, then you are put into this category of, we're not going to talk about this, you're a racist, you're a bigot, and therefore you have no say. And so we see this over and over again, that they like to play the victim while making statements that are not based in fact. As members of Congress who have responsibilities on committees where they're dealing with legislation, they're dealing with policy, and they're quite frankly dealing with allies when it comes to funding for the Iron Dome, for example. Yeah. And so these are not just statements that are made without any consequences.
Oh man, couldn't make it through without another.
By the way, the Iron Dome thing, none of these. I mean, maybe one of you guys, by being in the military, knows a bit better than I do. But from my understanding of like missile defense systems and stuff like that, is that they generally kind of don't fucking work. And so I'm sure that this is some kind of like way to just funnel more money in.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
there's a high failure rate of a lot of missile defense systems.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, missile defense from like mortars, and I guess like they've gotten a little bit better. Like they can shoot a little bit further and more accurately now. But like, anyway, yeah.
Okay, so I thought that the original tweet would be a part of that. Let's see if we can find it real quick.
Well, what was it, Mike?
I don't remember the exact wording, but you're gonna find it very hard to oh man.
Oh, there it is. I can't.
I was gonna say you do not know how to spell her name at all. Just go to her Twitter account probably, and we'll scroll down or something. But basically she said that the US has done bad things, and so has Israel, and so has the Taliban, and so has Hamas.
Just crazy, irrational, unrealistic.
Okay, there we go. Stop right there. All right. So she says, we must have the same level of accountability and justice for all victims of crimes against humanity. We have seen unthinkable atrocities committed by the U.S., Hamas, Israel, Afghanistan, and the Taliban. This is being read as anti-Semitic because she rightly acknowledged that the U.S., Hamas, Israel, Afghanistan, and the Taliban have all done bad things and have violated human rights. And of course the Democratic leadership immediately like put out a statement, which is the next link, I think.
Crazy.
So the next link after,
I think that
yeah, the one to the right of that.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Go ahead, Dorian. Sorry, Danko.
I think bombing Nagasaki and Hiroshima was bad, and that means that I'm a Nazi.
Yeah, well, because it's like, so the Democrats like go up and like say some like out of touch speech that gets to the point that, oh, we've done bad things in the past, we should admit that. But not Israel. Israel is above reproach completely.
No, yeah, it really seems like anytime you bring up Israel, go ahead, John.
That we ourselves are not as apparently perfect as the country of Israel is.
Right.
Like, is that what the difference between Democrats and Republicans is? Truly, that it's okay to be hard on yourself as an American, but not Israel, where Republicans just think Israel and the U.S. are perfect.
Yeah, I think that's a really good delineation.
Yeah.
Sacred stretches of geography.
So the Speaker of the House, like official government account, official government website, put out the statement. Nancy Pelosi, I think, gave like an actual like in-person statement on what Ilhan Omar said.
God bless.
Yeah. Beautiful. And it's not the first time this has happened, by the way. So early on in that Fox News clip, they said, "Oh, a rare rebuke against Ilhan Omar." This is actually something that happens all the time. It happened notably when Ilhan Omar was calling out that AIPAC, which is basically the Israeli government, has a political action campaign in America that lobbies Congress, and it's like heavily funded by the state of Israel for, pro-Israeli government things. But Ilhan Omar said it's all about the Benjamins when she was talking about that.
Right.
And that immediately was turned into like, oh, this is a racist trope about how, Jews control everything with money. And it's like, no, it's not a racist trope about how Jews control everything with money. It's a real fact about how the Israeli government manipulates our government by throwing money at our politicians.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's funny because it's also referencing Benjamin
Yes,
Netanyahu.
Benjamin Netanyahu.
So
Yeah,
it's
no,
actually
there's
it's actually a funny joke.
Yeah, Ilhan Omar is one of the few people that I think like gets things in Congress. um but so this statement from Nancy Pelosi, anti-Semitism must be called out, confronted, and condemned wherever it is encountered without exception. We are and will always be strong supporters of Israel in Congress because we
No.
understand that our support is based on shared values and strategic interests. Legitimate criticism of Israel's policies is protected by the values of free speech and democratic debate that the United States and Israel share. But Congresswoman Omar's use of anti-Semitic tropes and prejudicial accusations about Israel supporters is deeply offensive. We condemn these remarks and we call upon Congresswoman Omar to immediately apologize for these hurtful comments. And I'm actually realizing that this was the one where she was talking about the money
The
involved.
Benjamins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that one of the things that really drives me crazy about all this is that as part of the like general whitewashed history of the US, there's that whole thing where like actually the Puritans came over here because they were being religiously persecuted.
Yeah.
And like that's why we don't have a theocracy. And then it's just like, and then we literally we're like supporting a theocracy.
and then we literally have a
theocracy.
Yeah.
Right. And we're defending it because it's a theocracy. And you're not allowed to condemn it because it's a theocracy.
Well,
like
we also justified colonizing Americans because they weren't Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Manifest destiny.
Yeah.
Obviously God would prefer that this land be in the hands of good God-fearing Christians and not savage pagan Native Americans.
Yeah, and he needs all the Jews in Israel so that he can prime his apocalypse pump.
Yeah. That's I'm not sure. I know we went into that a little bit on our Israel episode.
Should we deep dive into Dominionist?
I think at some point we should do like a deep dive into like the religious Zionism and how like innately anti-Semitic it is, because it's 100% hinged on killing all of the Jews in order to like bring about the end times, because the fourth temple has to be erected and then destroyed brutally, and God doesn't like the Jews anymore because they don't accept Christ as the proper son of God. And yeah, it's insane shit, and we could tie it in with like a lot of like quiverful stuff. I don't know if you guys know that term, but
yeah, because like there's a lot of sects in this like weird umbrella of Zionists, types. Because like some of them, it's this like weird love-hate thing. Because it's like, of course, because it's like God is, because like it's almost like God is tired of Jews or something. Well, and it's like, is he going to? He's not going to send the Jews to hell, but he's going to kill them or something, right?
Yeah, he's going to annihilate them.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Make them. I guess probably maybe make them not exist or something.
Something to that effect. Go ahead, Dorian.
It depends who you talk to. If you talk to Dante, all those Jews get to limbo. So.
Yeah, and limbo's great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
You hang out with your buds.
In a state of
there
constant...
has to be a term for. Sorry, my connection's so bad.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say limbo's just like a constant state of like unknowing and unbeing, so that's cool.
Right.
I believe it was moist in limbo too, wasn't it?
I didn't hear what you said, John. Is it moist?
I think it was moist in limbo, wasn't it?
I think.
Sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Why not?
I think so.
Everything's uncomfortable.
Yeah, a little moist, just a little uncomfortable.
But there has to be a term for, and like an identifier that which is identified cannot comprehend. Like if you apply a term to someone and they can't understand what that term means, there has to be a term for that kind of paradigm, because I don't think that any post millennial dispensationalist knows what that is.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'll have to look into
Yeah.
the word there, I guess. I don't know. Let's go ahead and go to the next link. I forget what the next link is, but I'm sure it's something dumb I saw.
Hell
Oh yeah,
Oh,
this, is
hell yeah.
definitely,
This is dumb.
this is definitely dumb.
And we saw.
something. So let's no, I've got it queued to the right point, John. You don't have to worry about the time there. So a police officer in Arkansas decided to pit maneuver a vehicle that was following to the letter of the driver's like training that they have in Arkansas on how to pull over if a cop is stopping you. So let's go ahead and play this clip. You're getting a little bit of a sneak peek because for whatever reason this NBC News clip like shows like the first part of it and then clips back to the original part of it. I don't know why. But we'll go through like the whole thing here.
Okay, did they hit the inside wall? They rolled over. Get me EMS started. Can you get out?
So an initial emergency room visit made Harper believe her baby had died.
Yeah, so the woman in the vehicle that was pit maneuvered was pregnant, and she was led to believe that her baby had passed. For the listener, basically what happens is this dash cam footage shows the cop putting on his lights and the sirens. The person in the vehicle ahead of him, per Arkansas's like driver training manual, turns on their flashers to indicate that they recognize the cop is trying to pull them over. The Arkansas's training manual says if you believe that pulling over wouldn't be safe, go to the nearest safe place. She knew that an exit was coming up, so she put on her flashers, slowed down
This is all
quite
on
a
the
lot.
freeway.
Yeah, this is on a freeway with a very narrow shoulder. And so she was basically just waiting to get to a nearby exit that she knew was coming up. And I think literally like if the cop had let her drive for like 40 minutes, or not 40 minutes, 40 seconds to a full minute more, she would have reached this exit and would have been able to pull off safely. So she's doing everything according to how the state of Arkansas trains its drivers. The cop decides that even though this person has slowed down and put their flashers on, he's just going to pull out the pit maneuver, which everybody knows is a fucking dangerous maneuver because obviously it leads to rollovers like this. And
Yeah.
if you haven't ever like jacked off to an episode of
And
Cops,
a pit maneuver for the
yeah,
but
so
for the listener, a pit maneuver is
so if you haven't ever jacked off to an episode of Cops, what a pit maneuver is you strike the back, usually driver's side panel of a vehicle in order to off balance it and send it kind of spiraling out of control so that it's no longer like you can't run away from the cops anymore after you do this. And he just pulls this pit maneuver on this person who's clearly like just trying to get to a safe spot. They've slowed down. They've acknowledged that the officer is trying to pull them over, and they're not like doing anything crazy. They're not trying to pull away or anything like that. They're not leading the cop on a pursuit. So let's go ahead and let's play some more of this video because this next bit is like honestly like sociopathic to me.
Yeah.
Out. Come on out. Come out this way, right here. Come out this way. Can you come out? Yeah. Hold on a minute. Can you get out your passenger door? Here, I'm gonna move this. Watch your head. Why didn't you stop?
Because I didn't feel like it was safe.
Well, this is where you ended up.
There was enough.
Watch your head. Can you come out this way? I got plenty of room right here. Are you the only one in the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pregnant.
Well, ma'am, you've got to pull over when we
I
stop.
had my flashes
It doesn't matter,
on.
ma'am. Come on
I didn't
out.
feel like it was
All right, so go the end of the video. So the first thing he says, "Why didn't you pull over?" What a fucking psychotic thing to ask somebody who's just been in a rollover accident that you caused and you didn't have to cause.
And she's responding like pretty coherently to it as well, being like, "I put on my flashers. I was waiting to pull over
Yeah.
in a safe spot." And he's
for
like,
for
"Well, this is
somebody
where
who's
you
just
ended
been
up.
in
That's
a
fucked."
very traumatic incident, she is responding incredibly graciously to
Yeah.
this absolute fucking sociopath's like line of question. Why didn't you pull over? And then she said, "Oh, looking for a safe place to stop." And he's like, "Well, this is where you ended up." What a fucking
Crazy.
maniac.
Yeah, like, and so he didn't even like follow her that long. Before
No,
he
this
did
this
it.
was a very brief sort of interaction, and like I said, Arkansas's driver's training manuals tell you to do exactly what she was doing. If you don't think it's safe to pull over, if a cop is trying to pull you over there, you go to the nearest safe spot, you put on your flashers to indicate that you're complying with the officer's pull over request, and you go to a safe spot. This actually reminds me of an incident that I had when I was on Camp Pendleton, where I was also a pregnant woman being pulled over. Not really, but no, I was driving. I forget what area I was. It was somewhere between Area 42 and Mainside, I think,
Okay.
where you have like a lot of those long, windy roads.
Yeah.
And one of the base police officers put on their lights for me, and I was like, okay, whatever. At the time I owned a lifted Jeep with like really wide tires and shit like that, so like pulling over to the side of the road, like the officer would have to be, I don't know, a couple of feet inside of the actual lane of traffic in order to talk to me. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to kill somebody today, so I'm gonna like wait a little bit and then pull off into this little stop area that I know about. So I did that, and when the officer came up to my window, he was like, "I just about called you in as trying to resist." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, man?" Like, I was literally trying to make sure that you didn't die while doing this dumbass traffic stop that you're pulling me over for. And what he was pulling me over for was one of my rear tail lights was out, and it's like, okay, yeah, you're trying to pull me over on like a 2-lane road where there's like nowhere for you to stand except for inside of the road, and it's all windy, turny, twisty lanes and shit like that. Like, so basically what I'm trying to say is cops are shit. Fuck cops.
Right.
Yeah.
And on the opposite end of that, like I remember being pulled over, I don't know, when I was in my early 20s on the freeway, and as I was pulling off onto the shoulder, the cop actually told me over the
No way.
over the intercom. he was telling me, yeah, he said, no, pull off onto this next exit and like, go into the shopping center, because he didn't want me on the fucking road. And this was like a straight way. So like,
Yeah.
obviously, because that's the safest thing to do. But and they know it. Just some of them are like horny for conflict.
It turns out it turns out that you can't just hand somebody a badge and a gun and expect them to expect them to be cool
Right.
people.
You can't offer like $5 an hour more than like a big box store, and then just like take everyone that comes in. And like there was a story a while ago, and this was like mind-blowing but also extremely obvious, but how they got approved to do IQ tests for cops, so that they could reject people for scoring too high.
Yeah. No, I actually posted about that on my Instagram, and I got a bunch of people like telling me, well, an IQ test isn't like an indicator of intelligence. It's like, no, that's not the point that I'm making. The point is that these institutions believe in the IQ test, and they're using it as a means to disqualify people that they think are exceptionally smart, because exceptionally smart people shouldn't be enforcing the law.
And the crazy thing about using IQ for this kind of thing is that, so an IQ test, if you've never taken one, listener, is essentially just little puzzles. Like they're boxes and stuff that you like flip around. So it's extremely basic, like mechanistic knowledge, or not knowledge, but like mechanistic thinking, which you would think, if you want to be a decent cop, maybe you should have a decent IQ, right? Like, I know how to move box around. Move box around on freeway, it moved good. So, like, I don't know, man. It's
just like the basic like concept of investigating things, maybe, you know?
Right? Yeah, it's all like logic things about like these things doesn't fit into this category, or if you turn this box around, which one is it identical to? Like, it's all questions like that, which are all things that I feel like would actually apply more to a cop's job than most others, honestly. Except for, again, working at a big box store, which is where these people belong.
Let's go to the next dumb thing I've seen recently.
Hell yeah. It's
actually, this is just hilarious as fuck.
No. That does rule, actually.
So
that's very funny.
A new book has come out, and apparently, while Trump was watching the election results of this last election, Trump called Biden a mental retard while struggling with the polls in early 2020. I think the exact quote is, "How am I losing to a mental retard?" and what's funny is we have a situation here where we have the pot calling the kettle black, because the pot is absolutely a mental retard. and that's his words, not mine. I'm not being ableist here. Go ahead, Dorian. Danko, sorry. I'll train myself one day.
Yep, the game that I want to play is we just find a whole bunch of Trump quotes, and then we just we pretend that they were said by Nick Mullen. And realize there's no difference, but they're actually very funny suddenly.
No difference, and neither one of them has said the N-word miraculously.
Though we know of. I hear that there's mystery tapes of both of them saying it.
I no doubt.
Together. Just sitting on a group call, the two of them.
So the book titled "Frankly, Did We Win This Election? The Inside Story of How Trump Lost," provides a deeper look into Trump's election loss last year, leading up to the Capitol insurrection on January 6th. I'm not endorsing this book. I'm just giving the context from where this quote comes from, I guess. But yeah, the direct quote, which John has highlighted very usefully, is "How am I losing in the polls to a mental retard?" Trump said at the time, per an excerpt of a forthcoming book by Wall Street Journal reporter Michael Bender.
I think that's the third time you've said that quote.
No. I summarized it a couple of times, and then this is the actual quote that I just read.
I think you.
And again, these are Trump's words, not mine. Trump said mental retard, not me. Mental read.
Sal, you know what to do. You know
Yeah.
what to do, Sal.
Between HR and Sal, I to be fair, I did drink a lot of that fucking whiskey today. Let's go to the next link,
Oh, that's
which
good.
is some fun stuff about Kamala Harris.
By the way, people don't know this, but I'm actually also the HR lady. I just put on a different costume.
Yeah, Danko wears a wig,
A sundress.
Ray, yeah, a wig, a sundress. You raise your voice a couple of octaves, and now you're the HR lady.
I put on Ray-Bans and Crocs. Yeah.
So this top picture should be a video that we can play. Just click on it. Just click on it. Trust me.
Oh,
I told you. Man,
oh my god!
When I say trust me, when I say trust me, you gotta just trust me, man. I'm not just some guy, okay? I'm the cult leader of the Benzo Rehab Dungeon.
Number I heard yesterday afternoon was 275,000, somewhere there. So we're probably approaching 300 this morning, or maybe more.
Okay, well, this wasn't what I thought the video was supposed to be.
Yeah. Is this a video?
Oh, that's the video.
That looks like it.
You got it. Nailed it.
And I want to emphasize that the goal of our work is to help Guatemalans find hope at home. At the same time, I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
Fuck you. Yeah.
The United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our border. There are legal methods by which migration can and should occur.
All right. So go ahead and go back to the last link.
President Trump seized data from the accounts of
I
at
don't know.
least two House
Close the
lawmakers
window.
in
Close the window.
2018. It was part of its effort to crack.
There we go.
Oh no! Oh god, we landed on the worst thing. So the first link that we were looking at was actually the insane liberal rebuttal to the criticism of Kamala Harris's comments, which is that Kamala Harris, as a child of immigrants, has to appear hard on immigration, otherwise it'll be used by conservatives to kind of lambaste her. So I would just like to point out once again that liberals are just fascists that take more time to get there. There we go. Yeah. Oh no, that wasn't. No. Shit, what the fuck happened to the link that I wanted?
Yeah, no, that's the one that was the one that you sent me before that.
No, you missed one.
All I know in all this confusion is that next time I'm doing my edging, I am playing that video on loop.
Arizona Republic. Oh wait.
The USA Today article that I put in the links.
That doesn't matter now. We already shared what it's about.
Oh no, it's fucking hilarious.
But that's the one we just watched.
Was it? Oh, my bad, dude.
Yeah, I can't work under these conditions.
Look, guys,
I
I
want
just
to talk
want
to
to
the
see
union president right now.
I just want to see Abby Shapiro. I'm also the union president.
Yeah, we're all the union president. So just scroll up to that headline real quick because I didn't get a chance.
Just want to see milk.
Do not come. Blowback would be worse if Kamala Harris had come off as soft on immigration. Our vice president.
A lot of innuendo in there.
Yeah, our vice president is a daughter of immigrants and a woman of color. To me, that means she has no choice but to appear super tough on border issues. So this is the neoliberal. She has no choice but to be a absolute racist, like fascist, border controlling maniac.
She's just doing her job.
Yeah. If she showed any weakness on the border, then she would be correct, but conservatives would lambast her.
Look, I didn't want to be part of it. I became a guard at this prison camp, and I knew that I could let people escape. But one of the other guards would be way worse to them if I wasn't as cruel as he was. So, I was thinking that I'd just be like, "Hey, here's some extra food. Please go on your way." But no. I just started shooting.
Jesus Christ. That's a war crime. What you did was a war crime.
Yep. Yeah, but it would have been a worse war crime, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Mine was a baby war crime. They were gonna do a big war crime.
Well, that's really like the idea of harm.
War crime sometimes.
That's
By
really
the way, isn't this also like, it's not a war crime, but it is like against international law, like what they're doing with refugees. So I mean, it sounds like what I'm saying is crazy, and it is, but it's not out of the ordinary.
and less worse war crimes is really what people are saying when they talk about harm reduction, right?
Yeah.
Less worse war crimes is a beautiful phrase.
Yeah. Less worse war crimes is literally what quote unquote progressives were arguing for when they said that
war crime.
there's a harm reduction choice. We will have less harm under President Joe Biden versus President Donald Trump. Less worse war crimes. That's really all it comes down to.
I'm sorry, I'm just so antsy because I saw Abby Shapiro.
No.
On screen
We're
for a
going to
second.
Abby
Are we moving
Shapiro
on to
now.
that?
So, John, 2 links to the
Thank you.
left of where we're at
I
right
needed
now
it.
should be the Abby Shapiro clip. I would like to preface this with, I didn't watch this. I just saw the title, which I will read to you in a second. I saw the title and I said,
Love it.
this is going to be something so dumb that I want to go into it raw. I want to feel it as it comes upon my face. I don't want to know anything about this before I watch it. The title of this Abby Shapiro clip is "Conservative Women" in all caps. "It's our time," also in all caps. "Let's take the culture back." That's not in all caps.
What culture? What culture is?
Yeah, right. Mayonnaise,
Yeah.
hot salads.
Okay, well, Abby Shapiro is literally Jewish, so you guys are being very anti-Semitic right now.
Oh shit.
How does she look so much like Ben, but she's so hot at the same time?
She's literally just hot Ben Shapiro.
Yeah,
I know,
and I don't feel bad at all.
it.
I don't feel bad at all saying that Abby Shapiro is conventionally attractive.
Yes.
People that get weirded out by that,
now.
like no, she's just conventionally attractive. She's a failed daughter, failed sister to Ben Shapiro. She leeches off of Ben Shapiro's like race baiting success to run this like weird sort of conservative but like I'm kitschy so it's fine YouTube channel thing. I don't know.
I'm not hard to look at like my brother.
Yeah. And I don't talk like this, which factually means that I'm more attractive per, conventional beauty standards, and also I don't have to wear a yarmulke because I'm a woman.
I am the alpha lobster.
See, guys, it's all about personality in the end. That's what makes you sexy. It's your personality.
No. Her personality is
you
dog
speak to
shit.
people.
No.
Shut up. I'm.
I know you're making a joke, but I can't accept it. So let's
Let the woman speak.
We're all going in dry on this Abby Shapiro clip.
That was sexy.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah. You're
what do you guys mean? Did I say something wrong?
Play the clip.
Social media, celebrities, influencers, and YouTubers. So much of the time, it feels like one worldview.
So much of the time.
One position is tolerated. Many of them don't say outright what their politics are. Many of them do. None of them need to, and none of them will say what I'm about to. I'm a conservative influencer.
You pause it.
Doesn't she say that shit all the time?
I don't know why. Like, people in media do this a lot, but she's like a weird parody of it, where you like speak out of one side of your mouth at a time, and it kind of like flows back and forth. Just this, wow, wacky. I'm a conservative woman influencer.
Yeah, that's the only critique we can really levy against her.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, just literally talking out of the side of her mouth.
Yeah.
It's like in the
sorry.
I was gonna say it's like I think it's like an authoritative sort of like tone is what's being used here, and it's like a practice authoritative tone.
I don't even think it's authoritative. I think that it's like extra animated, and people think that they need to be more animated and affected, and so they do that by being like, wow, well, on this next episode of Law and Order SVU,
and you know that tone stuff is like obviously false, because as a monotone person with like almost 1,500 followers on Instagram right now.
Oh, that's pretty bad. That's good.
Obviously you don't need to like have any inflection in your voice in order to get followers.
And you know what? I just gotta say, we are tone policing right now, and that's what we're gonna do. That's what this podcast is about.
Literal tone policing. Actually policing a woman's tone. Hey, yeah. with WOMYN.
Yeah, let her have her affects.
All right, let's keep.
In today's day and age is not easy. You'll be told that you have internalized misogyny. You'll be told that you don't care about other women's well-being. You'll be told that you aren't a real woman. But none of that is true. Conservative women are the backbone of American society. We prioritize marriage and children, support our husbands, and support ourselves. We teach our families the strength of women both inside the home and out. We help our husbands grow, not by obeying their every word, but by bolstering their strengths and tamping down their...
Just most of their words.
I don't understand where this criticism... I don't understand where this criticism comes from. I don't think I've ever heard like a left-leaning woman refer to conservative women as not being real women. I don't think that's one of the critiques.
Well, it's straw man argumentation, obviously. And then just like not by following every word that we're told to, but by bolstering, and it like turns the conservative woman into like this weird and it's funny how like conservative tropes like always play into themselves this way. But basically what she's saying is that conservative women are like manipulators working behind the scenes, because they're, you know, bolstering the strengths of their man while tamping down their bad habits, or like their...
Behind every strong man.
Behind every strong man is a woman who's carefully manipulating the strings that guide him in order to make him do the good things that they want him to do.
Yeah, conservatives all just live in Macbeth. It's really bizarre.
Yeah, that's true.
Liberals are all in Hamlet, and conservatives are all in Macbeth. It's strange.
We live with values that encourage people to be better. We fight for what's right, even when the world tells us that everyone should do what they want, regardless of consequences. We stand hand in hand with men, not against them.
Can we pause real quick? Another thing I really like about this video is after every statement, there's an obvious jump cut. Because she's not like speaking from the heart, she's speaking from cue cards. and between cue cards, she like probably has to like take a break or something.
Yeah, how unbearable must it be to like watch that being recorded, where it's like, conservative women are women.
Pull up the next cue
Conservative
card.
women are women. Conservative. No, let's just move to the next one. Tamp down his weakness. Tamp down his weakness.
See, this is. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent here, but this is
Well, we
why
don't edit this.
I refuse to edit anything in the Benzo Rehab recordings because
Because we're
I
lazy
believe
and because
very much a lot of
No,
because
it's 'cause we have
I'm
principle.
I'm too lazy to rewatch whatever I've said, and oftentimes when people like message me and like, hey, that thing that you guys talked about in the podcast, that was
Right.
really funny when you guys said such and such or whatever. I'm like, I don't remember saying that at all.
yeah, that happens to me all the time. I'm just like, you can't prove that I said that. I refuse to admit that I said that. I'm glad you like the podcast.
and the reason I don't know what I've said on the podcast most of the time is A, because I drink a lot while we're recording, and then B, I don't rewatch anything that we fucking record, and I refuse to rewatch it because I have faith in myself, you and John, that the things we say when we're not like maybe watching our words completely, we're not bad people, and we're not going to say something that's like actually bad. So you know, like I'm not worried about it. And then when I see videos like this that just have like constant jump cuts in it, it's like, did she say something like between those jump cuts that like
Yeah, she's just like yelling at
Yeah,
the help.
well,
right?
like she definitely quality controlled this, probably.
She quality controlled
Yeah.
it. Another thing that I see this a lot in is like a lot of like liberal podcasts, Pod Save America being one of them, where you can constantly find jump cuts in them. And it's like, oh, did they say something a little bit out of line, and they decided, ooh, we gotta dial that back in.
That's what I've said the whole time that we did that Pod Save America episode. I said it over and over again that it was an example of the violence of curation. Like
Yeah.
everything in it's curated. That's why they had the AirPods. I swear to fucking God, that's why all of that stuff existed, because everything is so carefully put together in such a disingenuous way, like
Yep.
down to the books that he did not have on his shelf. Like
Obama's
nuts.
on the other side of those AirPods.
The reason I always have these
Hey,
obnoxious, really, really kind of ineffective, shitty Zoom backgrounds is because I don't want to have to curate my surroundings for the listener. In fact, I don't even want to be on video, but I signed a contract and I use blood and stuff. But
I don't recall making you
don't-
do that.
Well, I did. Don't worry
Oh,
about
you
it. I did
signed
with
you
the
signed a
HR lady.
contract with somebody else for this, I guess.
With the HR lady, yeah.
Oh, HR, yeah.
But,
Which is you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But because it's just so much shit and falsity. I've made my point. But
Well, I clearly live in this house that
that's
you
true.
can
That
see
is true.
behind
Yours is
me, so-
actually real, and it's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very
you did
real.
paint that thing back there, and that's a little
Yeah.
much. But
Go ahead.
we'll talk about it later.
Camp Benzo logo.
Cabenzo.
Cabenzo. Let's continue with Abby Shapiro.
Got halfway through.
About our views, like I did. For years, you've been forgotten and left behind as magazines and movies decided you're outdated. You've been told that the best way to be a woman is to act more like a man. You've been told that you don't care about women because you care about a child in her womb. You've been told that sleeping around is empowering, but waiting till marriage is ridiculous.
Nobody's ever said that. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
No. Sexual choice is literally about like you can do either of these
Well,
things, and it doesn't mean anything about you.
But
Actually,
Right.
especially in progressive circles, because how could you be supportive of asexual people and then be like, everybody else though, if you're not asexual, has to be.
You gotta fuck.
Yeah.
If this is your first time at fuck club,
I mean,
you
to
gotta
be
fuck.
fair- Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead, Dango.
to be fair, and I have nothing against ace people or anything, but if you don't fuck, you're a nerd. I said it.
Canceled.
I mean, I'm a Vol.
You gotta fuck once to know that you don't like it.
Just try the heroin, man.
The only way that you can know that something's bad is if you tried it once.
Look, buddy. So I know you didn't want to do this, but we're all blowing coke into one another's buttholes, and if you've never tried it, you need to, by law, try it once to know that you don't want to do it again.
We call it snow dusting. It's this new thing where we all take a handful of coke and we blow it into each other's buttholes. Anyways, if you don't want to participate in it, you're literally being ableist because I'm addicted and I can't control my addictions. So if you don't want to snow dust into my butthole, you're being very ableist against me.
Just imagining a whole bunch of like French, French monarchs and stuff, all aristocrats hanging out in this like incredible Rococo palace, and like they're about to do that thing where they like eat a whole bird, and they're just, one of them doesn't want to do it, and they're just like shouting at him, "You fucking nerd! You nerd! You nerd! You gotta eat the bird!"
I was thinking about a bunch
Cover your face from God and eat the fucking bird.
I was thinking about a bunch of French people that are like in a weirdly like fireplace lit room, but in the center of the room there's a table with lines of coke and also a bellows. We all know what it's there for. It's there for snow dusting.
Rite of passage.
John, did you have something to say before we go on?
Oh no, just that I prefer if you put the cocaine in your mouth, like a mouthful of it, and chew it up and then spit it into my asshole.
Oh yeah, we call that baby birding.
Yeah, that's what we do with the baby birds before we eat them whole.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's go.
Please play the clip.
Been told that believing in God is passé. You've been silenced about your views, but not anymore. Let's take back the culture so women can be women. Let's talk about reclaiming your femininity. Let's talk about dating with purpose. Let's talk about finding balance in career and home life. Let's talk about being an awesome, loving wife, but also being the kind of wife who makes your husband a better man. Let's talk about how to dress fashionably and conservatively. Let's talk about how to do your makeup.
Literally wearing a tyrant outfit.
Okay, yeah, no, and I gotta call out another thing. She briefly blinked away to Nikki Haley when she was talking about like career and purpose and stuff. Nikki Haley is a war criminal. As she was ambassador to the UN.
And
then she sucks. She sucks so bad.
And then she flashes over when she's talking about making your husband a better man to Ivanka, and what are the Jared from Subway.
Blank face.
Jared Kushner.
Yeah.
And which is actually appropriate because the only thing you can do with that man is improve him.
Yeah.
Just by like inserting any kind of charisma into his life, you're improving him.
Yeah, just blowing coke into his butt and he becomes a better person. He's the one person where coke actually improves his
Grab the bellows. We had to snow dust this boy.
Jared's here. Grab the bellows.
That's why Ivanka wears the white Matrix outfits, so that you can't see all the ass blow on her. She can just bellows Jarrett fucking behind a bush. Nobody would know.
Yeah, it's weird that she chose
that man.
That specific...
That man has white skid marks.
He shits bleach. But no, it's weird that she chose that particular picture of Ivanka Trump in like very, like you said, like Matrix style clothing. But there's like also pictures of Ivanka Trump like weirdly not very fully dressed, sitting on Donald Trump's lap. Like, there's a disconnect there.
She's just being the woman she was born to be.
Uh-oh. John's looking up Ivanka Trump on
Hell yeah. Daddy. Just say
on-
daddy.
underwear. What are you doing?
No. Just laugh.
How do you spell lingerie?
Lingerie.
Lingerie.
Yeah, it's with an L-I. Yeah.
Fucking
Lingerie.
Oh man, we're gonna find something we have to fucking
Blur out.
There it is.
Oh yeah, she's a very conservatively dressed woman, as we can see by all these boudoir pics of her.
Yep. You don't
I don't think
you don't have to dress like a slut.
Well, we're not shaming Ivanka Trump for doing this.
No,
We're shaming the
yeah.
idea that Abby Shapiro is bringing her up as a conservatively dressed woman, and
yeah, we should be clear about that. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not shaming Ivanka Trump for wearing clothes that are revealing or anything like that. I think that's
Abby
fine.
for being an idiot.
Yeah, we're shaming Abby
Exactly.
Shapiro for championing Ivanka Trump as a conservatively dressed woman, while she's clearly been evocative in a lot of dress and photo shoots, whatever. So clearly she has no idea what the fuck she's
personally,
talking
I
about.
won't be happy. Right.
Go ahead.
Because personally, I won't be happy until all of us, men and women alike, and non-binary people, are going to work in nipple tassels.
For sure.
All of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. If
I've done it before. I've put on pasties, and man,
No,
the
don't
chest
click on that.
hair and the nipple- that's a bad time. Yeah, maybe we should move away from this if we want this to be on YouTube.
Let's go
before
back
something
to
bad
the
gets
let's
clicked
go
on.
back to the Abby Shapiro video. HR is going to talk to you, John.
Hey, I'm just making points here.
No, you made a good point, which is that Abby Shapiro is fucking dumb.
A dumb.
A dumb. She's talking about Ivanka Trump as a conservatively dressed woman. Ivanka Trump has obviously done lots of boudoir photo shoots, whatever. Isn't
the thing that she said when Ivanka came up was just that she improved her husband, though? Isn't that what she was saying?
No, she talked about
No, she was
Ivanka
talking
as
about-
being like some conservatively dressed as well.
Did she flash up a couple times?
Yep.
Okay.
So
That would make sense. They do love that person. Man, look at her using half of her face. Oh, it's gonna.
She does have like a wriggling upper lip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it moved both sides. It goes.
So go ahead,
How to
John.
dress fashionably and conservatively. Let's talk about how to do your makeup.
she says,
first.
go ahead, pause. She says fashionably and conservatively, and flashes up a picture of Ivanka Trump. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
A night at the opera, not a night at the club. Let's talk about life from a conservative perspective, and let's not be afraid to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe to my channel and blog if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to get notified of all my new videos.
Yeah,
Head over to my Twitter.
we're done. We don't need her to pitch.
I would like
don't need her to
I would
pitch.
like to
None of that.
scroll back up a
She
little
looks
bit,
like
John.
she's being dubbed in like a Chinese film.
Pause right there, John. I would like to point out something that's always hilarious to me. Look at the likes and look at the dislikes.
Oh yeah, that ratio is very funny.
You've been ratioed
Because she spends so much money on ads. Yeah, like it's all just ads that everyone gets, and it doesn't matter who. They don't plan this. They just spread it out. It's nuts.
So
So
like I
maybe,
was
they
They
saying,
just want to get kids.
go ahead, John. Go ahead, John.
Maybe we should be careful then, because that sounds like if your like to dislike ratio gets too high, you have to start paying YouTube.
That would be like a funny terms of service thing. Like, if you could ratio people into having to pay back
You're a dork
YouTube.
ass nerd, you have to pay us.
You get indentured if you don't buy ads for your own show.
I'm in millions of dollars of debt to YouTube right now. But yeah, for
Just
the
wanted a premium
listener,
subscription.
for the listener, not viewer, Abby Shapiro's video has 24,000 likes, 87,000 dislikes.
Isn't that what
That's very
most
good.
of her videos are like?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Almost-
That's
pretty
why
much all
that's
of
why
it,
I
I've seen.
consider her like a fail sister of Ben Shapiro.
Yeah. It's amazing that she's gotten, well, not even that she's gotten this far, but that she continues, because it's like, yeah.
Yeah, obviously nobody likes you.
Another conservative with the shame kink, maybe.
No.
Yeah, so this video that you just pulled up is 6.9 thousand likes, 27,000 dislikes.
That's really good.
like the
That's
ratio
awesome.
isn't even like 1 to 1. It's literally less than half likes to dislikes. We have
I wish people could like downvote my Instagram posts. It would be so funny just to see how many people just hate them.
Same, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next link, John. So this is Mansion, and this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, especially this week. But this is Joe Manchin explaining why he won't abolish the filibuster, and you're going to notice that he doesn't have a very sound reasoning, because he's full of shit, and he's actually taking the heat for a lot of Democrats that don't want to abolish the filibuster, but aren't, like, I don't know, ballsy enough to go through with saying it out loud. So he's got to be the fall guy, basically. But let's go ahead and watch this clip.
Anyone whose last name is like a location that you go to, mansion,
Yes,
cinema,
a chin
especially
of
if it's spelled
man.
wrong. Like something is wrong with these people.
For sure.
Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Good morning, Senator.
Jesus. Has he always? I feel like I've seen pictures of him before.
Yeah, he is
Has
not
he always looked this terrible.
So you're going to notice
He has always looked like a bird that you eat whole. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very peculiar. Just above his eyebrows, right? Like there's a line there, right?
Yeah.
That's clearly a spray tan, because directly above that is a much paler figure.
See, I just thought that he stole an old elf who had herpes face.
That's also possible.
Who hasn't stolen an old elf's face at some point?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I keep my boyish looks.
Let's keep on with this clip.
Good morning, John. How are you? Doing all right this morning. A lot of Democrats say that you are standing in the way of their priorities, and one of them appears to be the president. He said earlier this week in Tulsa, talking about the frustration of getting things passed, he said 2 members of the Senate who vote more with my Republican friends. Depending on how you see it, he was either being honest about the limitations on what he can get done, or he's saying you're standing in the way of his agenda.
Well, I think that was taken out of content, John. The president knows how the
Pause.
Senate works better than probably any senator.
He says that was taken out of content.
Content?
he literally says that was taken out of content. So why I wanted to bring this clip up is because the people that run our country are fucking idiots. They don't even know how to say context instead of content. That's how bad this guy, who is like legitimately blocking democracy right now, and you know, we can go into all the theory about how like the Democrats are intentionally blocking democracy because they don't like it either, whatever. But this fucking elected official doesn't know the difference between content and context while he's being talked to, because he's just that fucking dumb.
What if people in power want things to stay the way they are?
Oh no. That would be a whole theory. I don't know, man. I don't think we can pursue that much further. It's a little bit half baked. It's out there kind of.
Yeah. Just to remind everyone of the fun Deleuze quote is that leftism has nothing to do with government. There is no such thing as a leftist government.
Based King Deleuze.
Based King Deleuze.
John, go ahead and play this unless you have something to say.
Oh, no.
They're setting today, or as well as any senator setting today, he understands we're a deliberate body because we're supposed to be a deliberate body to cool things off that come from the House. That's what we're doing. We're looking at
not
deliberative body.
Yeah, to cool things off, to like not make laws or shit or anything.
Yeah. Like anytime there's some kind of structural change, we make sure that doesn't happen. It's almost like the Senate is anti-constitutional and literally not a part of the Constitution, but a weird set of rules that was enacted through Congress in order to tamp down any maybe radical changes that Congress wanted to pass through. This is historically accurate. This is exactly what the Senate is.
The Constitution is literally built to slow down change. Theoretically with like good intentions, but like also certainly stops things from getting
The Constitution has stops for sure. But the Senate is not a constitutional branch of government or anything like that. It is
rules.
It is an extension of Congress that was created for the explicit purpose of stopping any kind of progress or change.
Yeah.
Let's keep listening to Manchin.
every way we can to bring this country together and unite the country. That's what I'm doing. And I think anybody, whether it be a Democrat or a Republican that's sitting today in the Senate, knows who I am.
The guy who said that he would vote for something if people that supposedly disagree with him agreed with it also.
Yes.
Like that's literally like that's his main excuse that he keeps going back to, or people who fucking are like apologists for Joe Manchin or something, like the necessity for, I guess, Republicans that call themselves Democrats or whatever. Fucking that fucking shit. That why can't he wear a flag sometimes?
Yeah.
You know?
No,
like,
exactly.
Why can't he wear a flag sometimes? No, but that's
by the way, that's going to be the next. Sorry, go on.
No, but that literally standing in the way of a law that could possibly pass just because, well, I'd like somebody who disagrees with it to agree with it.
Yeah, exactly, right?
So stupid and asinine.
I would like somebody who
the new Zero Books.
Go ahead.
That's going to be the new Zero Books publication. It's going to be The Necessity of Joe Manchin.
Hello, Douglas Lane here with a new. I'm sorry.
Which, by the way, Joe Manchin is rumored to not be running for office again. For next election, so he's literally just obstructing democracy.
Yeah, there's a very prevailing theory that he's taking the fall for a lot of other Democrats who don't want to end the filibuster because they like not changing things.
Yeah.
His next move, according to a lot of people, is running for governor of West Virginia. That's neither here nor there. He's obviously a bad faith actor if we like examine him talking in this clip at all, because his like idea of like, well, you know, the filibuster was made because, you know, we don't want anybody to take control of the House and then make a bunch of rules. Well, where were you for the last like 4 years or like 8 years while Republicans ran Congress and ramrodded all these like fucking horrible bills through that you voted on or didn't vote on or didn't like offer any like actual resistance to, and now all of a sudden that the votes are coming down to like, well, maybe we shouldn't try to make every black person an illegal voter. Now you're like, well, we have to maintain the filibuster. It's very important in this case that we maintain the filibuster. Like, obviously, he's a bad faith actor. He's taking the fall for a lot of other Democrats. One of them is Dianne Feinstein, who we should probably look up a clip of for this episode, because if there's ever a case for somebody who's not fit for office, it's Dianne Feinstein right now. She doesn't even know that she supported ending the filibuster and then came back against the filibuster because she's reached the point of age where she's not coherent anymore. And we could look to the sad side of it, where it's like, oh, this is elder abuse, but also at the same time, fuck her. She sold stocks right before COVID, so not a great person.
Also, rumor has it that Joe Manchin isn't even a Manchin.
He's not even a man with a chin. Yeah, we don't have to look at the filibuster thing right now. We can round out the Manchin video.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna not look at his face while.
It's very hard. Very hard.
Yeah, we've only gotten through a minute.
Yeah,
and I think I've been the one who keeps pausing it, and
have, and we're fine with that.
Yeah, I think it's watching his face move is more horrific than
because there's the shade difference between where he was spray tanned and where he wasn't. It's hard to ignore that.
Yeah, and apparently he got caught by a fish hook.
Yeah,
on his lip or something.
Whatever's going on with his lip, he looks like he's drooling a little bit. Yeah, not a great look.
No,
he's like a contender.
Part of your face.
Yeah,
he's like a contender for the Ted Cruz. This person is not a person challenge.
They're all elves.
He is almost as hard to look at as Ted Cruz. Yeah. All right, let's try to get through this.
And I've always been about bipartisanship. I've always tried to work in a bipartisan way, and I've voted in a bipartisan way in the last 10 years of the Senate. So I'm doing what I have always done. Let's unite this country. We don't need to be divided any further.
What the White House would say is, on an issue, let's say infrastructure, which is key to the president's economic agenda, what they would say is there's a way to do this with Democrats alone. It's the same method that was used to pass President Trump's tax cut, but you won't agree to do that. And since you won't agree to do that, it takes all of the leverage away from the White House. Now, in order to pass an infrastructure package, it requires 60 votes to get past the filibuster. So it's not just that you want bipartisanship. They would argue what you're doing is basically putting all the negotiating leverage in the hands of those 10 Republicans that would be needed for the president to pass anything.
We need to work within the framework of what we have. There's ways that we can move forward. Let me say this. There's been 7 brave Republicans that have spoken out. They have voted, whether it be in
7, not 10. We really don't have to listen to him any further than this. Joe Manchin is a
also for.
Go ahead, Danko.
For the listeners, just so you really know, Joe Manchin, not to continue just shitting on his looks, this has more to do with affect, but he simply always looks terrified, especially when he's just listening. He's gulping air. He is mortified. I'm surprised there isn't a red dot floating around somewhere in his body.
A corporate sniper waiting to just fucking pluck him off whenever he says something wrong.
A sniper from Arby's is their corporate office sent him down.
Taco Bell sends its regards. The basic plot of the point here is that that Joe Manchin is a lying piece of shit. He's obstructing everything because he can, and he will because he wants his name recognition out there. I don't think he has any ideological differences with the filibuster legitimately. I think this is just a prop for him to put himself into the spotlight. Yeah, fuck Joe Manchin, fuck Democrats in general, because the basic fact that Biden is leaning on this saying like, well, I didn't win in West Virginia, so how can I pressure Joe Manchin? You can pressure Joe Manchin by just like calling him a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing stopping anybody from calling Joe Manchin a piece of shit, except for
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, easy. I just did it. Joe Manchin's a piece of shit. I'll say it again. Joe Manchin's a piece of shit.
Joe Manchin.
Well, like,
I
don't
can't even say his name.
Joe Manchin, your peel, yeah.
When it ultimately came down for Democrats to become a party that supported the Civil Rights Act or whatever, fucking LBJ fucking called all the fucking blue dog Democrats in the South pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Said that they're not in the party. Like, fucking, why don't presidents do that anymore? If I was the president, I'd fucking be like, yeah.
Well, because presidents we elect now are part of this structure. And
to be fair, Trump did that a lot, but
no, that was like one of the positive notions about Trump is that he would like shit all over a Republican that wasn't following the Republican Party line, right? Like he perfectly displayed how the bully pulpit can be used, and now we have Biden who could use the bully pulpit, but he doesn't use the bully pulpit because ideologically, I think he aligns with people like Joe Manchin. He aligns with people like Dianne Feinstein or Nancy Pelosi, who would like to fundraise off of the idea of change and better things in the future, or making sure that police don't kill black people all the time. They like to fundraise off of that idea, and then they do nothing to deliver that, but they give you the idea that it could happen.
Yeah. And it's just to kind of modify that statement a little bit, that Trump wasn't getting people to follow the Republican Party line. He was producing a new line for them.
Yeah,
to follow,
no. He
right?
was creating
that's the chance that people on the Democratic end have, is that the problem is that they're following the Democratic Party line, right?
Right.
And you could have someone that says, no, here's a new line based on my own ideology, or my own views, and you should follow that. It's about
that was
drawing a new line.
Kind of like the benefit of supporting somebody like Bernie Sanders, who, I have some grievances with, but most of the time I agree with his like policy solutions or his ideas or whatever. It's setting a new term for how the Democratic Party looks at things. And then when you give a candidate like Biden the actual like Democratic frontrunner position, I can't stand for that anymore, because Biden is representing more or less what the Republican Party is representing, more or less what Joe Manchin himself is like forcing through his non-vote based off of like, oh, I'm gonna like be bipartisan, and if Republicans don't agree with this position, I can't vote for it because I need Republicans and Democrats to vote for this position. Like, it's all fucking bullshit.
It's like he only plays sports with and gives a handicap to his opponent.
Yeah. And this is where a lot of the time, especially in the last election, when I was talking shit about Joe Biden and how nobody should vote for Joe Biden, I got a lot of blowback about like, you're literally trying to like enable Trump to get a second term, and it's like, no, I don't want Trump to have a second term. I don't want Biden to have a first term either, because these people are not very much different from each other, and like the amount of work that you're doing to elect somebody like Joe Biden, to elect somebody like Joe Manchin, just because he's got a fucking D behind his name, like it's insane to me how people will just acquiesce to these maniacs, these fucking like disconnected rich people who don't give a shit about like your actual day-to-day rights or like whether or not your voice is being heard. Yeah, I don't know. This is like drunk rambling rant bullshit, but like I don't know. When I see somebody like Joe
This
Manchin,
is what we call the final third of the podcast.
yeah. This is right before we do our sign-offs. But like Manchin and Biden are part of this structure of people who should not be elected by people who want progressive politics, and yet there was such a huge push by progressive politics groups to elect Joe Biden in order to, you know, lead into what we have now, which is immigrants do not come to our country, and
we need to build a wall.
yeah, an infrastructure bill that's going nowhere because he won't force people like Joe Manchin to vote on the infrastructure bill, or you know the
Caitlyn
college
Jenner's going to
debt.
fund that wall too.
Yeah.
There's already a wall. Like, that's funny. Like, because Greg, did she actually say that she was going to fund a wall on the California border?
No, I don't think she actually said that, but she hates
gonna
homeless
complete
people.
Oh, okay. Because Greg Abbott.
No, she said that she was going to fund completing the wall.
Oh, did she? Oh, shit.
Oh, like in her state as interstate as governor. Which is funny.
Yeah.
Like, the only place that there isn't wall is Texas.
Yeah,
Like,
California actually has a very secure border wall.
Yeah.
Texas is the only place that doesn't have one, and it's funny because Texas doesn't want a
the
secure
wall
border
doesn't
wall.
have any. And the wall, even if your goal is to stop immigration, like it's not.
It doesn't.
That doesn't change it.
Yeah.
That's not how people come in. That's not how they stay.
And Texas doesn't want a secure border wall because they get a lot of free labor through the.
Well, that and the Texas border is all privately owned, like almost all of it. The places where there is wall, there are not privately owned land. Like the whole build the wall thing. Like, the reason why half the country has a wall or natural barriers, the wall is a little less of a wall in some places, but generally there's a wall over most of the border or some type of fencing. But Texas almost has none, and we'll just have like 5 miles of like random ass fucking wall that was built back in the Bush administration or the Reagan administration, because they've been building the wall for fucking ever, but they always get defeated in Texas in court.
Yeah.
Because fucking like 89 or fucking 85% of the border is privately owned.
Yep.
Or owned by a Native American
God bless.
reservation or something. And people own land on both sides of the border. So they always win in court when it's like, you're completely destroying my livelihood and like an industry, because like these are big like ranching fucking big cattle ranches and shit like that.
My industry is letting ISIS operatives run over my border.
Yeah, no, the private owners don't donate it because they don't want a fucking big ass fence fucking across their fucking land.
Weird.
Yeah, and they win in court. Like, some people lose, but then like everybody wins, and then the politician's out of office and they stop building it, and it's never going to get built. It's just political theater.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think we've exhausted all of our dumb things that we've seen this week. We'll go ahead and end it here.
I do have one little thing that we can finish with.
Please.
Which is has nothing to do with politics or anything, but I find them extremely funny. I have a new email that I've had to have warmed up so that it doesn't appear as a scam. It's a whole search algorithm thing. And so the way that it's warmed up is that I get huge amount of messages sent to it that are just stripped from random documents, so that it kind of has sense to it, and it doesn't trip anything up for spam filters, but it's still all nonsense. And I just want to read the title of one that I received, and it's a very ominous message that I got on my work account, and it's: Hawkins hasn't had his face and moved no more.
My God, that's pretty serious.
It's pretty scary, huh? So I've been having fun with those, and that's my absurdity to the end of the night.
Cool. Well,
Joe Man stole Hawkins' face.
He did, and he moved no more.
One thing I will add before we sign off. Apparently a bunch of people didn't know we have the Benzo Rehab Dungeon has a Patreon link. All of the links are in the link tree that I post up as a part of all these posts. And if you go to Patreon, it's Benzo Rehab Dungeon is all you need to search for. Turns out we're the only people with that name. So if you do want to give to this dumb shit project that we're working on, please do. And that's all I have. We love you. Please take your medicine.
Hold up.
Oh, you have other things? Okay.
We have other things to do.
Shit.
But yeah, again, as always, the workshop is still going strong every Saturday. If you want to go to Patreon, again, for that, it's patreon.com/Truncata, TRUNCATA. For this month, everything that we make, rather than going to me, is going to go to a fund for a friend of ours family who passed. So if you, I would suggest that you just donate directly to them, but if you are in the workshop already, know that that's where the money is going. We can, I don't know, we've both been sharing the link to that GoFundMe, so I'm sure you can find it if you want to.
Yep.
And otherwise, that's all I got.
John?
Oh, nothing from me.
Cool. All right. We love you. Please take your medicine.
Please take mine too.
And make sure to save some for your friends.
Hi. Michael Deebs here, with no gun pointed at my head. Please know that all content created for the Benzo Rehab Dungeon is and always will be freely available. However, if you would like to support this creation of content, we here at Camp Benzo would appreciate it, as the production itself is not free of cost. Anything donated will go to covering the various subscription fees maintained for content production or improving and expanding the content produced. If you are able to, please head on over to patreon.com/BenzoRehabDungeon. We also have shirts for sale on Teespring, all priced as low as we can get them without turning much or any profit. They are mostly so that you can show your loved ones that a necessary intervention may be on the horizon. Links to the merchandise storefront and our various social media profiles can be found on our link tree, which is the word linktr.ee/BenzoRehabDungeon. As always, we love you. Please take your medicine.